Well, hello. I'm Matt. Welcome to the good life. I do a little radio show from my backyard in the hills of Encino. I'm a lucky guy. In fact, I'd say luckier than most. I have lots of friends that I like to call stars. Hey, in fact, there's one now. You probably know Ryan Stiles, Drew Carey Show. Whose line is it anyway? Black Hawk Down?
I wasn't in Black Hawk Down, Matt. That wasn't me, okay? What are you doing here?
The gate was actually open. I thought I'd take a little jacuzzi-roo.
I got company coming over, okay? People that matter, okay? Get up, go.
Bubbles feel so good,
Look,
Ryan.
Matt, you know what? You gotta stop doing this, okay? I can't be coming home with the wife and kids and you're in my tub, okay? Just get out.
I'm not wearing nothing.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
He just passed out.
Yeah.
Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
Had to lighten them up loud. Oh, man. We're here with Matt. Oh, yeah. Had to lighten up. Oh, little Outlaw Radio. We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
You know, because of everything in the news, haven't heard a lot about this death, but what a legend and I don't bandy around the word genius too often, unless I mean it. 6 Oscar nods, 4 Grammys. You know this song, huh? Anybody? Anybody? Remember the movie? You know, you recognize it, right?
Yeah.
Come on. Little movie with Don Rickles, Donald Sutherland. Archie Bunker.
Sounds like the Brady Bunch.
You know, could have been the same dudes, man.
Partridge Family.
Yeah, but it's not.
I know.
Yeah, it's the man who wrote this. Also wrote music for Mission Impossible, Manic, Starsky and Hutch, Bullet, Cool Hand Luke, Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, The Enforcer, Sudden Impact, The Deadpool. So all of the great Clint Eastwoods that weren't spaghetti westerns. He also brought in Ray Charles to perform with a symphony for The Cincinnati Kid, one of the greatest movies in the history of cinema, with Steve McQueen and Bullet. Yeah, dead, 93. I thought he would have been in his hundreds because he's been around obviously as long as I've lived, but he's that name has been uppermost in my cranium since I was a kid. Lalo Schifrin, man. Lalo Schifrin, a man that I thought would never die. I didn't want him to die. 93, a musical genius. And the credits that I mentioned there, oh, he has a myriad more when it comes to TV themes and so on. But this is from Kelly's Heroes. Dee. Lalo, we'll miss you, buddy. We hardly knew ye.
How about Mission Impossible? That'd be more
I can barely hear you with that song still playing. Let's get rid of that song.
Wouldn't Mission Impossible
Sure, why not?
be more recognizable to the audience?
What, Mission Impossible?
Yeah, because that's kind of what he was known for in the later years.
Yeah, and that would be expected.
Right.
Right.
It's kind of what you give the audience what they want.
No. you.
not
Don't-
here.
Don't give the audience.
That's what average people do.
Yes,
Right.
don't give the audience what they expect. That's what college radio guys would do. They'd say, "Wow, he was
More
known
people
for."
that do it in their backyard. Yeah.
Yeah,
same thing.
Ryan
yeah.
Seacrest says all the time, I know
I
what you
know.
want.
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest, Rosie O'Donnell, those with talent, they know. But I'll tell you what, there are some lucky folks out there, man, and I just named two of them. I'd like to send a bunker buster to Restream. It's a company that that I use to get this show out on all the platforms. Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, on X.
Operation Midnight Sledgehammer. Not just
yeah,
hammer.
yeah. I would love to send a bunker buster. I was on hold with their service department for an hour last night to answer a simple question. No customer service whatsoever. And it was all about these AI clips, which a couple weeks ago, they started sending me AI found clips from the show, and then I would post them. And so far, the highest viewed clip is the one with that man right there from, and he of course nods, saying, "Oh, of course, of course, Ralph Odierna, right over there from the Bronx."
Shock.
Yeah.
You know what the audience wants.
Yeah, and so after an hour, and I'm asking the questions, and as you, my friends, know, customer service is a thing of the past, and certainly when it comes to this douchebag company, Restream. Oops. Are we still on the air? They finally informed me, well, the show has to be less than 3 hours for us to generate AI clips and send them to you. And I said, well, how would I know that in advance? Is there a way I would know? Are you following me, Dave, producer? Yeah, is there a way I would know that? And of course, there's no answer because the kid wants to save his job.
Well, did he speak English?
Yeah, sort of. It was, it was text, but anyway,
Oh,
it was.
you were on a chat.
It was
Okay.
because of the Warrant after show, and what's his name, Mart? Your
Rick
buddy.
Steyer.
Yeah, Rick Steyer, good dude, man. But because we went late and gave you an after show after 3 hours, that's why the AI clips. But they never said that. There was no asterisk that if you go over 3 hours. So once again, customer service down the friggin' tubes.
Matt, if you would just read the fine print.
The terms and conditions.
I will tell you this: there are no terms and conditions, no fine print on this. I promise you, this was not my mistake. They just throw things out willy nilly.
Of course they do.
And
I hate them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It is absolutely incredible.
You can't talk to a physical person anymore. It's all.
Oh no, you can't.
Chat,
It's
chat,
just
chat.
impossible.
It's all AI.
And hey, my friends, where are the bluest skies you've ever seen? Where are they?
Colorado.
Seattle.
I was thinking Pacoima, but
I was
okay.
going to say Finland. But
Bluest skies you've ever seen.
In Seattle.
The Netherlands.
Hoping Tattoo Dave will look at his page in Seattle. And it takes so long
he gets so enthralled
to
with the show,
scroll
he
down
forgets his job.
to the second cut. Jeez. Yeah, my neighbor, gone at 83 years old. He was my neighbor for many, many years in the hills of Encino. The great Bobby Sherman, LAPD, volunteer fireman, EMT, heartthrob. Let's not forget about that. Dead at 83.
Oh, yeah.
And this, I grew up with the guy, not because of his music, but because of Here Comes the Brides, which is this is the theme
I
song.
didn't know he did this song.
Yeah.
Bobby.
No, he did. No, Bobby did not do this song. This is the theme from Here Comes the Brides.
Do you know who discovered him?
Who discovered Bobby Sherman?
Yeah.
Who? No.
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda?
At a party, and she became like a mad crush on him. She demanded her agent sign him.
Yeah, but I'm sure, unlike Matt, he did her.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing,
And
by the
you
way.
know, Bobby Sherman was also friends with our father. Our father played with Bobby Sherman.
Bobby Sherman?
Yes.
He did?
Yeah, he knew Bobby Sherman. He met him several times. They played in Oregon, in Portland together.
Okay, let's fade that song out. It's just.
He was on the cover of my favorite Teen Beat magazine.
Bobby?
Teen Beat. Is that thing still around, by the way? Are mags still around?
Who was the guy that did our show that was on the cover all the time? Leif Garrett.
If Garrett was.
He was on
And
Cigar Aficionado is still around. I just subscribed.
Oh yeah. And P.S. This look at this bearded Magic Matt. Now I went many years with my beard on my old cabeza.
Saw you in a movie with a beard.
For many, many years, but it was Milt Larson, the proprietor of the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, that said, you got to shave that thing because you're going to do TV. So I shaved it, and I did a little TV, but the problem is today, as opposed to the time when I had this beard until about 22 years old, 23 years old, is that it didn't itch. My face didn't itch back then. Now, I thought if this thing grew out, it would stop itching. No. What is the itching part? Is it still
skin? It's the skin, and they make a lather for it.
I'm going to have to get rid of this, but not until my spider bites completely heal. They're getting there, but they have to completely heal. That way, I won't open up a wound.
Wow.
By the way, if you're enjoying a little food right now, you just spit it up, didn't you? You just threw up a little bit in your mouth. Yeah. But yeah, this is my attempt to look more and more like Mel Gibson every day. This white-haired beard. And P.S. back then, obviously, the beard wasn't white. Man, I'll tell you, this age thing, you really got to be an adult to put up with this crap, right, Ralph?
It's not all it's
Tell me
cracked
about
up
it.
to be.
Ralph, right?
Getting out of bed is a chore.
Yeah.
How about when you go to bed at night, sometimes you wake up and you go, I hurt myself when I was sleeping.
Oh, you got to pay twice.
Yeah.
Or twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, did you see this? Of course not, because it happened on CNN. Anderson Cooper was forced to urgently evacuate during a missile attack that occurred while he was broadcasting live from Israel. Now, this is news because Anderson Cooper usually runs towards things that are shaped like missiles. That's
Blue skies you've ever seen.
In the annals of journalism, he's not afraid of one.
Yes, and country star Leanne Rimes suffered an embarrassing moment when her two front teeth fell out mid-concert.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
Dave,
I know. How about that,
like
man?
getting off on that.
That's an invitation right there. Come out.
Is that not one of the worst things that could possibly happen to
That
you as a
depends
performer?
on the scenario.
Not for a country star.
Yeah, Rimes says it won't. Rimes says it won't happen again because now she's using Lee press-on teeth.
Oh.
So you see,
Yeah.
yes. And I finally, as a kid, everybody in school, they were always talking about Billy Jack. You see the latest Billy Jack. Well, I was the kid that never watched Billy Jack. But the kids, man, they were clamoring. But these are the same kids that were saying, "Man, that new Ozzy Osbourne Sabbath, that rock."
Yeah,
and I was never that rock and roll guy either. You know, my favorite bands: ELO, Earth, Wind and Fire, Steely Dan.
I was going to Kiss concerts and Judas Priest.
Oh yeah, my brother and I diametrically opposed. Man, he was heavy metal rock, and all the neighbor kids heavy metal rock, and all the school kids except me, the big fairy who liked Steely Dan.
Well, in high school, we had a mix between the heavy metalers and then the poppy.
Yeah.
pop.
The alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
How can you not like Chicago on a Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, and,
Oh, yeah,
and
man.
one of my other favorite bands, and thank you for saying that, Ralph Odiera. Well, I finally, last night, I watched the first induction into that Billy Jack series, having no idea, but it looked interesting. It's called Born Losers.
Yes.
It was shot in 1967. It was the first Billy Jack movie, low budget as hell, but compelling. So I'm watching that, and I can't avert my eyes from this thing because, it's one of those sort of precursors, and this is the same time that the spaghetti westerns were hot, but it was the precursor to Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry movie where Clint just kicks absolute ass on everyone.
Yeah.
But this guy, Tom Laughlin, he was good.
I never saw this either, man.
Understated actor.
There's three of them, and they're all.
So
great.
there's three, including the one
There's
Born
two,
Losers?
There's two called Billy Jack. There's Billy Jack and the Legend of Billy Jack.
Right.
Born Losers was the introduction to Billy Jack.
Yeah. And
Seen him?
Yeah, all three.
Sort of blew my mind that I'm looking at that quote-unquote old broad who plays the mother of one of the gals who were raped by the biker gang.
And by the way, they weren't shy showing that rape.
No, they weren't. No, this was great.
pretty graphic.
This was graphic as hell. But I'm trying to. It's like I know that gal. I know that old gal. It was Jane Russell.
That was Jane Russell.
Wow.
Jane Russell playing the mother, and even though she looks old in this, she's in her mid-50s.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell, man? Did folks look older back then?
Yes,
I think
yes.
they did.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100% they did.
I think they did because they
Absolutely.
didn't grow their beard out like some a-holes on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
To
But
hide
they
his-
also died when they were 60.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, well that may happen over here. Shut up, Ralph. Born Losers with Tom Laughlin and Tommy. Just another in a series of good old Milwaukee, Wisconsin boys. A Wisconsinite who did good. And aside from that, what the hell did he really do? Or is that all he needed? Pretty much.
Probably.
He died quite a few years ago, in his 80s.
And I think he was part Indian.
Yeah, well, supposedly, because they didn't, in the beginning of this movie, Born Losers, they didn't establish that the guy was Indian. We only knew that because the biker gang called him, like, Redskin and so on.
You mean
And
headdress Indian?
It's like, yeah, no, what?
Headdress Indian, not dot Indian. Headdress Indian.
Casinos, not 7-Eleven.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Got to clear that up.
So here's the bad news. I fell asleep about 20 minutes before the climax of this movie, so I have to watch it at
It
least.
seems like you do that.
I do because you know why? I'm tired.
Well, no, anyway, when
I
you
get
can sleep, you better do it.
Yeah. I get really tired, but I'm really and I'm waiting for the climax, which you know is going to be Billy Jack, Tom Laughlin kicking ass on these biker a-holes, and these guys are pieces of crap. They really are. So you want to see them go down. And I was pleasantly surprised the other night. Dana Parino did more than a fine job hosting Gutfeld. Great comedy timing. Did you watch it, Ralph?
I wouldn't say great, but she did a really good job.
I thought it was.
She did a better job than Tyrus did the night before.
Well, see, Tyrus is not built for that sort of thing. Tyrus is built as a commentator, and he's great at doing that. And P.S., he proved his muster as an interviewer, interviewing Trump. He was great. But hosting a show, he's a fish out of water. And it's like radio, it's like television, it's like hosting anything. You sort of have to know how everything works.
David Roth taking over a radio show?
Yeah, it doesn't work. They're honest.
Baldwin.
I know, my friends. I know what you're thinking, but Matt, you make it look so easy. It reminds me.
Well, it's the producer that makes it look
Well,
easy for
yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you have a good producer. You got a good show. Tattoo Dave.
So now we know where we're going wrong.
Yeah, and this is why Tattoo Dave has really long arms. Do you see him over there patting himself on the back? Yeah.
Here, let me put it on camera.
But Dana Parino, I'm sort of mesmerized by that gal, and she showed a side of herself because she's usually pretty straightforward, in her. But she has a great sense of humor, and she's like 54 years old.
Yeah, I know.
How hot?
Very hot.
How can 54-year-olds be hot? And some 62-year-old broads are hot.
It's crazy.
Is it because we're getting older, Ralph, or they simply are hot?
I think they're getting hotter.
I think they are.
They have more things to use medically, too.
We have lowered the bar, is what happens.
Well, that also.
Yeah, but Dana Parino, you don't have to lower the bar for that gal. She's and a talented gal, and I had to look her up just to make sure she was married.
She married a Brit.
Who?
She married a Brit.
Oh, wait. And her husband, that's right, is about 20 years older.
Yep.
So I have a shot.
Yes. He may die soon.
So Dana Parino, listen, if this gets back to you or you happen to be watching this damn thing
color are your panties?
we call
No,
Magic
I'm sorry.
Matt's Outlaw Radio, I must tell you that a fine job hosting. She was spot on and nicely done. And it appears that Cuomo killing old people in nursing homes has finally caught up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, it also appears that the vast number of New Yorkers are, how should I, let me be gentle, idiots. Are friggin' idiots.
Still voting for the wrong
Are
people,
idiots.
like
and
California.
it's got to be the masses, the 11, 12 million people in Manhattan. It's got to be.
It was Brooklyn.
Brooklyn what?
Cuomo won Manhattan. He got crushed in Brooklyn.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm a kid you not. It was all the elitist yuppies in Brooklyn Heights, Greenpoint. That's where he got
There are
crushed.
enough of them in Brooklyn to make that happen?
Yes. He lost by 80,000 votes in Brooklyn.
I'll be a son of a bitch,
Wow,
man.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But look, the guy, the socialist he wanted, he's a big movie star. You remember him in Big? He was in the booth, Zoran.
Believe me, yeah.
Wish granted.
Yeah, with this.
And that's what he's doing. He's trying to grant wishes.
Yeah.
Free bus, free food, free everything.
Defund the police. That's a good one. Government-run grocery stores. The man is a Marxist. The man is a 100% socialist market. I'd go so far as to call him a commie.
Free buses.
Free buses. And Cuomo is refusing to take his name off the New York City mayoral ballot, despite conceding the primary to
and if he would,
Mamdani.
Your friend would win the election.
Which is?
Curtis Lewa.
Well, you call him my friend. I have met the man a few times. I'll tell you who really doesn't like the guy, and I'm really never deciphered exactly why, is former producer and my former love interest, Lori Downey Jr. I talked to Lori a few years ago about Sliwa, and the fact that I said, I like this guy, and she said, and I said, what? She said, I know some things.
Well, he cheated on his wife Lisa. That could have pissed her off.
Yeah, that'll piss off a woman, right?
But Lori has her certain people that, boy, you can't change her mind.
Well, she's not a big Trump fan either, because Trump
cheated on his wife.
And what?
Cheated on his wife.
Well, but it was more than that.
Hey, because he grabbed the pee.
It was Donald Trump and Morton Downey Jr., her former spousal equivalent back in the day, and they were in a business dealing over a casino in Atlantic City, and it went sour. And Trump is supposedly a big a-hole. Well, yes, that makes him a great businessman.
That's right.
He's our big a-hole.
See, I don't hold that against him, man. But Andrew Cuomo. So it's like, who do you vote for? I mean, Cuomo's a piece of crap.
Sliwa.
And this guy's a piece of crap.
Well, Matt, the guy that's a piece of crap, I think the lesser of two evils, there is none.
No, not in that scenario. But
none of the above.
Sliwa is the only guy right now, but Andrew will reportedly remain an option on November's general election ballot for New York City mayor, despite conceding the Democrat primary to socialist candidate rapper. Let's not forget he's a friggin' rapper.
Come on, man.
Zoran Mamdani. And I did write a note here. Remember that movie about him? See, Ralph? Bad minds think alike. Sources told CNN that while Cuomo, who resigned from the governorship in 2021 after an investigation found he allegedly sexually harassed at least 11 darn women, has not fully committed to continue an all-out campaign. He will not give up his spot in the ballot as the candidate for his own party, which I think could help us, I think. Because maybe he'll siphon off some votes.
No,
not when it gets down to that point.
See, this is my feeling.
Yeah.
The Jews did not come out in the Democratic primary because they weren't going to vote for this guy.
Right.
But if Cuomo's in, they're probably not going to vote for Sliwa, so they'll vote for Cuomo. And Zohan will get all the other votes.
Are you saying Sleestack? So we got Sleestack, we got Zoltar.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
We have many weird names.
Zoltar, Zohan.
Yeah, citing disillusionment with the Democratic Party, the disgraced former governor unveiled the Fight and Deliver Party in early May to appeal to discourage Democrats as well as to independents and Republicans. A campaign source confirmed to CNN. Well, if it's CNN, then you know it's the truth.
Of course it is.
That Cuomo would not pull his name from the ballot ahead of Friday's deadline to do so. So it remains unclear whether he'll keep campaigning. I think he probably will because this guy wants it so bad. 93% of the votes counted. The Associated Press, another reliable source, reports that Mamdani, a state assemblyman, whose plans for New York City include city-run grocery stores and investing $65 million into gender-affirming care for minors and adults, has 43.5% over Cuomo's 36.4%. Well, he's within. That's what I'm saying. He's within spitting distance if you throw some other candidates into the mix. The Democrats held a ranked choice primary, and Mamdani didn't reach the 50% vote threshold. And Curtis Sliwa, remember that? See, I was in New York at the time when, or a few years after he formed that crime prevention volunteer group, Guardian Angels.
That was 79.
And I was never a big fan of the hat. Maybe it's the hat that people...
The beret?
Did you see the hat
I don't know. I mean, nothing against berets, but I don't know.
You see the hat I gifted Billy?
No.
That's not a beret, though.
No, but Trump 2028. Oh, that'll piss off those folks when you're trucking down the road in that little, that tiny truck of yours on the sidewalk. Oh, yeah, you'll get everything stolen, and probably this is a death wish come true. Billy Dilly, hoorah, my good Marine friend. So Sliwa, he ran for mayor in 21. He was beaten by incumbent Mayor Eric Adams. What about Eric? Does Eric have a shot?
That's the whole problem. If Cuomo's in, those two guys are going to take the Jewish vote, and I think the Zohar, the terror, gets in.
How old is Eric Adams now?
60-something.
Yeah,
Is he?
He's running as an independent after feeling disillusioned with the Democrats. And, he's sort of been a good boy over the last several months. He's been pro-Trump and sort of doing... After years of not doing the right thing for New York City, he's been doing the right thing for New York City.
But he only did that to try to save his job,
and
not because he wanted to.
I understand that. But do you think if he's elected again, he'll do the same thing because maybe after all of this, it's the right thing to do?
No, I think he goes back to who he was.
You do?
I do. Because he can't be reelected again.
So you're saying out of all of these folks in the Big Apple, and if this Slohan... By the way, great guitar player. Yeah, and rapper. If he wins, I promise you, I will not be visiting my favorite city in the United States again.
This reminds me of Ed Cotch when he lost to Dinkins, and they asked if he was going to run again. He says, nope, the people of New York voted, and they deserve to be punished.
Yeah, and Cotch would almost be a Republican today, right? He'd almost be a Republican. All right, tons of crap to get to and stuff that you'll find interesting, including but not limited to 50 Cent. When we return on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, X, and the finest stations in the nation. Thanks for being there.
Like the legend of the Phoenix, all ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 The present has no ribbon. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna leave, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up.
The staccato hoofbeats of a golden palomino, carrying a man who fights wherever justice needs a champion.
In a hideaway on the other side of the hill, with Hollywood close enough to smell, one man dared to step up to the bar and talk, and other outlaws heard the legend and joined together to tell their tales. This is how it began. Smoking, drinking, interrupting. Magic Matt Allen. This is Outlaw Radio.
Yeah, if you have a second, go ahead and subscribe to Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube. It can't hurt because that bastion of, even in this day and this age of ours, YouTube's still a bunch of friggin' lefty liberals who hate shows like this. Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, where 50 Cent offered, we were talking about Zoran, the man who could be the next mayor of New York City. And you talk about the end of New York City. Boy, if they vote for this son of a bitch, man, do they get what they deserve. Those, and they're mostly youngins.
It's like Californians vote for the wrong people every time.
Yeah. Did you say friggin' or?
Friggin'.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said.
I just didn't hear it. Okay.
I have a pen handy.
Okay, in case we have to edit, post.
By the way, Matt, this is the Democrat Party today.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's these hyper-educated elitists that just don't understand the economy.
Well, they don't understand the voting public, obviously. Right. They don't understand what Trump did in the last election. And it was a mandate. It was a mandate.
How about what Trump has done in the last 2 weeks?
Well,
or 2 days.
You're talking about
every day.
Yeah, you're talking about like sort of fixing things and putting the hammer down. And,
every day.
And winning. What a week, by the way. What a week.
You got peace on the Congo drums?
Oh yeah.
There's a Congo line right now through Africa.
I love it.
What a week of winning, man. 50 Cent offered Zoran Mamdani. Yeah, that's the man you want as your mayor. A one-way ticket out of New York over socialist tax plan. I'm telling Trump, 50 Cent offered New York City mayoral candidate Zoran a one-way ticket out of New York after the Democrat socialist name-dropped him while discussing his proposed tax increases. I'm telling Trump, the many men rapper exclaimed. Hollywood celebrities, of course, rejoicing. How stupid do you have to be a Hollywood celebrity these days? I really, the answer, my friends, really stupid. Hollywood celebrities rejoicing for Socialist Democrat leader Zoran Mamdani.
I want to hear Joe Biden.
What?
Or Joe Biden pronounce his last name.
Oh, yeah, good. I can barely pronounce it.
Baghdadi.
Baghdadi. Baghdadi. Hollywood celebrities are taking a victory lap after, oh, God. How? I mean, it's just a government-run grocery stores.
It'll be like the DMV.
Yeah, perfection, because that always works really well. No lines.
Are these people commies?
Yes.
Look, I don't want to say I know gambling.
Yeah.
Okay, but I know gambling.
Yes, Ralph O'Deana.
And I've never known a bookie to go out of business.
Yeah.
OTB in New York City went bankrupt. How does a government bankrupt a betting site?
Because they don't know how to run any other thing other than our military. That's what they're good at doing, and that's where they should stay. But they get their filthy little fingers in any of our private lives, they screw it up.
Well, yeah, they put every retarded cousin in charge.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't say that word.
Yeah, you can't say cousin. You cannot.
Say cousin.
No, you can't say cousin on this show. But Hollywood celebrities, man, they are high-fiving big time. And the more I hear and watch and read about Ron DeSantis, the more I love the guy.
I know where you're going.
I love.
He's a tough dude, man.
How do you not love this guy? You know, he'll be president if he wants to be. I don't know in 9 years. I just don't think he wants it. I think he likes his family.
Pretty comfortable, man.
Yeah, I think he's having a happy day. But
there was a time I think he was really.
Well, of course, yeah, but he's thinking, I'll be this age. Nah.
That's our buddy Mark Walker's, their governor right now. He lives in Florida. He's moved there in the last 2 years. He loved it.
It's everyone who
loves this guy.
Everyone who lives in the Sunshine State's governor, Ron DeSantis. Yeah. He says Florida is helping increase deportations because of alligator Alcatraz ready to intake. I think that was a quote, too. Intake illegals.
Yeah. But I really think putting a detention center in the center of the Everglades.
It is the greatest.
Oh, man. I just got a visual. Snakes and alligators.
Well, that's the pythons, man. Florida stepping it up to help increase deportations. Ron DeSantis showcasing the most notable move by the Sunshine State in prepping alligator Alcatraz. Have you seen this thing? It looks like a perfect place to put bad guys.
No walls.
No. So you never sleep.
There's no walls.
There's no sleeping. What the hell?
It's like being on the ride at Disneyland, the Haunted Mansion. There are no walls. Which I offer. What does he say? Oh, what a great voice that guy had.
The easy way out.
He was the guy, by the way, if you've ever been to the Haunted Mansion, and many of you have, because many of you have visited Disney throughout the many years.
Cool?
Well, when it wasn't a big woke left piece of crap, or at least they didn't come out with that.
It cost $35 to get in.
Yeah, right. I know when Walt Disney was around, it was not woke and it was not left, because that man was not. But the man who did the voice in that Haunted Mansion was doing an impression of Orson Welles.
Yes.
And And I rarely apologize on this show, but I should have the guy's name because he was brilliant. That man.
Don't be alarmed.
Oh,
you might have some hitchhiking ghosts.
See, I wouldn't even do that because no one can come close to that voice. University of Virginia president resigns under DOJ pressure, not to be confused with DOJ, after failing to cut DEI programs.
Was it Paul Frees?
Yes, that's the man, Paul Frees, one of the greatest voices in voiceover of all. I put him up there with Ernie Anderson. He and Ernie Anderson, two of the greatest. Now, Ernie was the guy who did On the Love Boat. And Ernie I worked with, and that guy was a cigarette-smoking, whiskey-drinking, party dog. I love that,
those
man.
cigarettes do a hell of a thing for your voice.
Yeah. Also,
look at Marty. Let's listen to Marty.
My voice is naturally like this from our father. Been down that road 1,000 times.
The Trump administration's pressure on University of Virginia President James E. Ryan over the school's diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives has resulted in the institution's leader stepping down from his post. Yay!
All right.
Yay! It's either that or he knew he was going to be ousted. So I think he saw the writing on the wall. Right? And so I'm going to try to save face. Well, good luck. And from my I Continue to Hate France notes, I have an entire notebook of the many reasons why I hate France. And P.S., full disclosure, I've never visited France. How about you, Ralph?
No.
You've never been to France?
Nothing to do with the hair?
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
I have never wanted to visit France, even though I am an aficionado of James Bond movies, and they have shot scenes and so on in France and movies in France, and it looks, fun and a lot of creamy dishes.
I didn't want to walk the streets just seeing people surrender.
That's the thing. They're pussies, yet they have the unmitigated gall in thinking that they are better than Americans.
Yeah,
Without us, you're dead. You're speaking German, you bastards.
Yeah, like the
I'd
French,
rather go to
like the
Australia.
Canadians.
Oh boy, there's and P.S. I did visit that area.
I have never.
Yeah, but I didn't want to get into it with them, even though I could take any of those guys and gals up in a fight. And the gals, by the way, stronger than the guys there with them big hairy armpits. Just one waft to that, and you're a dead man. You're on the floor. Yeah, I do hate France, and France is now banning smoking in parks, beaches, and near schools. They're
the biggest smokers on the planet.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they've struggled to kick its smoking habit, and a new public health decree published a week ago aims to change that. See, once again, it's not about freedom. It's about Big Brother, the government. They know better than
We'll be better this way.
So stop the smokers,
but
not the Muslim fanatics that are murdering and raping everybody outside of Paris.
Because of their open border policy? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
That's a bigger problem.
Yeah,
smokers.
But Ralph, I was thinking the same damn thing. So priorities here are stop smoking, but our cities now are in shambles.
No-go zones.
Yeah, 100%, and taken away, and your religious right is now gone unless you're a Muslim. And nothing against the Muslims, but there are some bad people on all sides. But I'll tell you what, there are some nasty Muslims, and
I dated an Iranian gal.
Was there one of those Egyptians who wasn't a Muslim who ran the planes into trade towers?
No.
The answer is no. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, in the coming days, smoking will be banned in all French parks and sports venues, at beaches. We started that here in California years ago. And bus
Here you
stops.
can't even smoke in your own apartment.
But how about this, Dave? And bus stops? Bus stops outside, you're minding your own friggin' business?
Yeah, welcome to Burbank.
And I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I certainly love the freedom that you should be allowed to do so. And, they stopped it in dive bars here in California years ago. Stupid idea, when most of the folks, 99.9% of, if not 100%, of most worker bees in dive bars, meaning the booze baristas
and the patrons, employees, everybody.
They smoked. They all smoked.
Can you get a DUI leaving a bar with a cigarette? It's from the alcohol.
It's yes,
but ban the cigarette.
But ban the cigarette. In a country where smoking has, for generations, been glamorized in cinema, intertwined with the national image, government crackdowns on tobacco use have met resistance. In France, we still have this mindset of saying, this is a law that restricts freedom. Philippe Bergerot, president of the French League Against Cancer, told the Associated Press, the ban aims to promote what we call denormalization in people's minds. Smoking is normal, he said. We aren't banning smoking. Yes, you are. We are banning smoking in certain places where it could potentially affect people's health and young people. Well, that would be anywhere. Beaches, right? Because it's all young people on beaches.
It's just wide open outdoor fresh air everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been illegal to smoke in restaurants, bars, and public buildings since a series of bans in 2007. And, of course,
when you could smoke in the hospital waiting room.
Higher taxes means a pack now costs upwards of 12 euros, yet more than 30% of French adults still smoke cigarettes, most of them daily, one of the higher rates in Europe globally. The health ministry is particularly concerned that tobacco remains popular among young people, citing public health statistics showing 15% of 17-year-olds smoke. Is it a good thing to do? Probably not, but it's a freedom. You make the choice. You know the health, the downfalls of such a thing. So it's called freedom.
You know, going back to Ralph's comment about getting a DUI for smoking a cigarette out of the bar, did you know that they recently instated the law here that now if you're driving under the influence of marijuana, you get a DUI?
No, that's been a long time.
Yeah, but you should.
You should.
You definitely should, but it's not been a long time.
Yeah, it has. But anyway, Matt, when it went into effect,
coming from the
beaches
stoner.
in California.
Yeah.
Ryan Stiles and I and the kid, we used to go down to the beach. Him and Joni,
By the way, let me ask, was that a name drop, my friend?
Yeah, I wasn't sure why
You
that
mean
was
the tall
important.
man of comedy from Two and a Half Men?
We used to go down to Malibu.
Black Hawk Down.
They smoked right on the beach, and that was after the bans, supposed bans. They didn't stop them.
Yeah.
Well, it's only if they catch you.
Yeah.
Who's going to catch you?
Yeah, the broader ban is a good thing for Annabelle Carmel, mother of a 3-month-old boy. I tell myself, it's really not ideal for him, but there's not much I can do about it. I would have to not take the bus, not go to parks.
Why is their 3-month-old son smoking?
Because the government said that the new ban would take effect July 1st. The official decree introducing the ban was published a week ago. Electronic cigarettes are exempt from the new ban. Other European countries have gone farther. Britain and Sweden have tightened smoking regs in public spaces. Spain, oh boy, I got a problem with those boys in Spain. Extending a smoking ban to cafe and restaurant terraces. Yeah, take away the freedom. Welcome to freedom. We'll be this after back on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. All right, so I'm assuming the mics are up, and as you were watching us speak, it was Ralph who said, "Do you know that Brian Simmons?" And I said, "Yeah, he's the pukey. Good afternoon to you." Used to be on Coast 103 here in L.A., and according to Ralph, he's been going after him on Facebook. I get he's probably a big woke lefty, right?
No kidding.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I can't believe
because he's a big no talent.
Everything he says, I prove factually that he is wrong.
Everything.
And he says, "You're just a member of a cult, dude."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're the members of the cult, right?
So he's got.
I can't believe how many lefty POSs you have.
When you back up
that's
points with facts, but we're the cult members. Anyway, yeah, that guy. I work. KFI and Coast were in the same building, so I knew him from that, and always thought every time I saw him, I thought, man, that guy's the luckiest guy ever. Do an afternoon drive in L.A. with virtually no talent. Okay, cut the mics, and then we'll come back.
He came to town with a fistful of poker chips, a fugitive with a big cigar. Folks whispered his name. They called him Magic. They called him Matt. Some people called him Trouble. Magic Matt and the Outlaw Radio Gang gather at the bar and talk.
I, for most of my life, have always felt that this man is a good guy. Man by the name of Rod Stewart. British rocker Rod Stewart. Always liked the guy, man. And now he's backing Nigel Farage for Prime Minister.
Ooh, he is a good man.
Oh, he's a good man. He's a good man. Come on, slap it. Yes. You think I'm sexy? I'll tell you, in the disco era, this was a great song.
Oh, yeah.
It still is.
You know who's going to the bank on this son of a gun? Still to this day is the guy who wrote it.
Appice.
Carmine Appice.
Oh, yeah.
A piece.
He wrote
Carmine Appice or a piece. This man.
Gotta love those Italians.
And listen to the domineering drums because he's playing drums in this. But he wrote this song, man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and if you,
I did not know that.
If you watch this video, the chick is so effing
nasty.
Hot. Oh, just incredible.
Rod Stewart is a good guy, man.
Yeah, I've always known it. Yeah. I love this. Rod Stewart has become the latest prominent British celebrity to endorse Nigel Farage as his Reform UK party seeks to upend the political establishment in London. What do you think the odds are? Do you think this is going to happen, Ralph? I mean, wouldn't it be great?
It would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
But the Brits are so far gone, man.
Yeah. You think?
I do.
Even with this non-border control and the fact that they have been taken over, I'm not saying by whom, but
they call it Londonistan.
It's ridiculous. And so what do? They just lock their doors and they stay inside and they say, well, that's just the way it is now, right?
How can you do that?
Yeah, and
let's have a cup of tea.
And they look at their teeth in the mirror and they think, if we were Americans, these wouldn't look so bad.
Let's go get some good food. Oh, that's right, we don't have any good food here.
Rod Stewart, the great Rod Stewart, says it's time to give Farage a chance at governing the country, according to Maggie May singer Rod Stewart. Speaking to the Times of London, Sir Rod said that while he is extremely wealthy, and I love that he's extremely wealthy, he said that it doesn't mean I'm out of touch. Good for you for stating the truth, Rod Stewart.
Bless you, brother.
By the way, why do you think he lives in the U.S.? they tax the wealthy in
90%. 90%. For instance, I've read it. Why do you think Ringo Starr? By the way, happy birthday, Ringo. Birthday boy Ringo Starr. Why do you think he lives in Monte Carlo? Because no taxes.
By the way, happy birthday, Elon Musk.
And happy birthday, Elon Musk. For instance, Rod Stewart says, I've read about Starmer cutting off the fishing in Scotland, giving it back to the EU. That hasn't made him popular. We're fed up with the Tories, he said. We're fed up with them. Starmer's all about getting us out of Brexit, and I don't know he's going to do that. Still, the country will survive. It could be worse. We could be in the Gaza Strip, Rod says. We got to give Farage a chance. He's coming across well. What options have we got? I know some of his family. I know his brother, and I quite like him, Stewart said. He's 80 years old. Rod is 80 years old. He went on to lament the current state of Britain's infrastructure, citing the prevalence of potholes on UK roads. As I travel in Italy, Germany, nowhere else is as bad. Starmer's promised to spend millions on it. We shall see, Stewart said. Relaying an incident in 2022 when he was film personally filling potholes, I forget about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Pictures of
He
him
said,
doing
I took me Ferrari out, nearly lost the effing wheel, and before I did in the Ferrari, I saw an ambulance that couldn't move. The wheel stuck right in there. So I took me mates out, and we knew what to do because I had builders in the house. We filled in a considerable length of the road, actually. Sir Rod is just the latest high-profile celebrity to back up Farage. And this guy comes off so great. Have you ever seen him in it? The guy is just articulate, interesting. He's Trump. He's Trumpy. Yes.
But his only downfall is he won't go after the British press.
But
he still treats them with kid gloves.
Yeah.
Where Trump does not treat the press.
See, that's
Not at all.
But that's the whole diplomatic English thing.
That's right.
Yeah, that's but we're very nice folks. Yeah, his upstart reform UK party. In April, chopping block celebrity chef Marco Pierre White threw his support behind the Brexit boss, saying that he found Farage to be a very impressive individual. I just love this, man. I love that there's at least a shot, at least a chance, and that Rod Stewart is a good guy. We'll be this after back, a big hour coming up on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Hit me now.
Wanna buy a new car, but the price ain't right. Ain't that cold? Be a downside cheaper, yes it would. Start riding the bike. Listen, they're making milk out of powder. Yeah, they are. Got the babies crying. Poor baby, they know what that stuff is. The rent's gone up higher. Yes, it is. Got the parents lying. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah. Make you wanna run for cover, yes it will. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Good God. Listen, got to go to a disco. Throw your troubles away. Dance to the music, yeah, that the DJ plays. Well, all right. And then the lights come on, yeah, like you knew they would. That cold. Gone home and face the music. That don't sound too good. Ain't that cold? Listen. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. It'll make you wanna run for cover, yeah. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah. Oh.
cold. Cold-blooded, cold-blooded, I'm telling you the truth. Let me stop here at this gas station. Give me 3 gallons of low lead. I'm full, nothing else. I better stop and give me 2 hot dogs and a strawberry soda.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time! Our main event! Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Sean Young on Outlaw Radio.
Hey, this is Shelley Berman on Outlaw Radio. Listen, come on, listen to me or listen to Matt. If you like being bored.
Wanna buy a new car, but the price ain't right.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time! Our main event! Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Sean Young on Outlaw Radio.
Hey, this is Shelley Berman on Outlaw Radio. Listen, come on, listen to me or listen to Matt. If you like being bored, it's great for you.
It's Robert Hayes. I'm here on Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, a.k.a. The Weasel. We are here to drink. We're here to smoke. We're here to interrupt. You may drink. You may smoke. You may interrupt, but I'm here to...
Live from the Lighten Up Lounge, this is Dom DeLuise saying, this is Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Chuck Woolery at Lighten Up Lounge on Outlaw Radio. Lots of fun, guys. Be back, 2 and 2.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio, where we smoke, we drink, and occasionally we bother people who look old and weak.
Hi, this is Rick Dees with Magic Matt, a.k.a. Mr. Cigar, in the Lighten Up Lounge. We drink, we smoke, we interrupt.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands on the radio. Praise the good Lord. Welcome to Magic Matt's soft spot for the big man. Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, on the finest radio stations throughout the country. And one of the finer folks you'll ever want to meet is, is it too old school to call you, do we call you a preacher, Ted Bear? Do we call you a reverend? What do we call you, Ted Bear?
You call me Ted Bear.
All right.
Call me Ted.
All right, Ted, who most definitely speaks the gospel. This man knows the Bible.
Can I get an amen?
Inside and out. I think you got an amen. How about you, Ralph? You're a good Catholic boy.
We always get a good amen.
Yeah.
Just don't call him collect.
Yeah, Catholic boy from the Bronx, and this man not from the Bronx, but this man, I'll tell you what, back in the day, do you mind me giving a little taste of your past, even though he was sordid, Ted Bear?
Well, you know, we were going to talk about my father's book that I just wrote, Golden Age of Hollywood and Broadway, but I grew up in an acting family.
Yeah.
My mother died when I was young. Of course, I became very discouraged, and I did a lot of self-destructive behavior, and got in a lot of drugs and a lot of salacious content. Went out with a lot of people, and then finally,
at the same time,
one woman who had come to faith in Christ through Billy Graham thought my father was really handsome, which he was. And when she came to faith with Billy Graham, she gave him $62 million. I wish I had led her to Christ. This would have been a great thing for our ministry. But anyway, so she'd take him to Christian events. He'd take me to protect him. I'd walk out and complain that these people are crazy. And then I became one, and I knew they were crazy. And now I'm on your show.
Well, hey, Ted Bear, if you had to do it all over again, going way back in time before you found Christ, would you turn back the clock and not have those threesomes that you enjoyed in the New York area?
No, I lived with 4 women. So that, you know, you're
foursomes.
You're diminishing my career. You know?
Yeah, get it right, brother.
You know, I've always wondered how insane you could be to want to marry 4 women, because it's practically impossible.
And once again, can I get an amen?
Yeah, amen on that. You can get an amen.
I don't want to know about the divorce checks.
I got an amen.
Come and knock on our door.
Yeah. Well, Ted Bear happened to marry a most beautiful woman, and unfortunately she passed away a couple of years ago. One of the most gorgeous, smartest gals that I have ever... And I look back at my times at Ted Bear's house and wish I would have spent more time with her. She was smart as hell, man. And I hate to say hell. Is that bad? You know what I mean?
No, it's not bad. A friend of mine came over. He sent his daughter to our How to Succeed in Hollywood class. I had some great people, the former head of Disney teaching, the former head of Fox teaching, really good people. And he said, he walked around and he said, this is the nicest office space. So she designed the office space. She was an architect, and I loved her dearly. And she was on chemo, drugs, and therapy for 26 years.
How about that, man? 26 years, yeah.
Fought that crap.
But always her head held high, and my gosh, I was at the beautiful homage for her with Ted, and she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous until the day she left for a better place. However, if you go back in time, Ted Bear, when it comes to absolute beauty, she was even more gorgeous than, now listen to me, I'm not making this up, Olivia Newton-John. And they're not in the same category, but and I met Olivia Newton-John through Ted Bear at one of his great get-togethers here in Hollywood for his award show. And that woman of yours, and you must have felt blessed every day being associated with such a, not only so smart.
Was she Australian?
So smart. Not Australian.
Oh.
No, she was Argentine.
Yeah.
She was 4 generations on one side, 6 generations on another side. Very elegant. She was on the cover of Mademoiselle.
Love it.
She was featured in Life magazine. And some famous sculptor her face, and it's in the Metropolitan Museum in New York City.
Yeah, I'm not saying this. I want you to know, for those of you, including Tattoo Dave, my brother Marty, and Ralph, I'm not saying this to stroke my buddy Ted Bear. If you look her up, and at some point I want you to, she will blow your mind, and you'll say, Matt, she was even more hot. I'm using the word hot and beautiful than you described her. All right. God bless her. And boy, is she keeping she's keeping the kingdom happy. I got a feeling there, right, Ted Bear?
I know she's having a good time. 6 months after she passed, we went to a Christmas Eve service with my, I've got 18 grandchildren, so I went with
How about that?
8 that live near me, and they were having fun in the church, and I was complaining to God. It's easy to do. Oh, God, why didn't you take me? I would have loved to have gone with her. And suddenly this gigantic angel appeared and opened up his arms. He showed me Lily in heaven, and I'm convinced it was true. So I've seen her in heaven, and she was so happy that then I was angry that I didn't go.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I like that, man. I like that an awful lot. Does my heart good. He has a son who lives in, wait for it, a place where one of the greatest rock singers in the history of rock and roll was born. You know that dude from Queen? Tanzania Ted Bear has a son that lives in Tanzania.
No, it's Tasmania.
Oh, Tasmania.
I was actually
is
going to say that.
an island off of Australia named after the Admiral Tasman, but Tanzania is in Africa, different place.
Okay.
Way far away.
I thought it was named after the cartoon. It
is the Tasmanian Devil.
Tasmanian.
Yeah.
But then you got to write the second time. Tasmania is what it is, right?
So this man.
I was going to say, what's he doing in
This
Africa?
man wrote. This is his 47th book. I mean, my gosh, man. And because of the meaning and purpose behind it, he believes that you need to festoon a buck or two for this thing. Ted Bear believes that if you read this, you'll be enriched by reading about old Hollywood, and it's one of my favorite topics. When we dive into that book, what is some of the tidbits that might grab our attention?
Well, first place, old Hollywood, in many ways, was much better than new Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, every way.
You know, you signed contracts, and they had a stable of men. He was a cowboy star in 12 movies.
You're talking about your father.
The good guys wore white hats.
Right.
And his sidekick was Hal Taliaferro, who was just wonderful, just a great guy. All the people he played with were wonderful. He won the box office award in 36. And the book has very poignant insights into people that he knew well, like Cary Grant. He starred in The Awful Truth with Cary Grant. He was a big star at one point, winning the box office. I always tell people that fame is fleeting, and that's one of the reasons for the book is that you see, because I get a lot of students. I was head of a department at Berkeley, et cetera, and they all think, oh, I'm going to go to Hollywood and I'm going to become famous. You know, people forget all too easily some of the great people. I imagine, Matt, that many people don't even remember Olivia Newton-John. I went and taught at a school near Washington, D.C., and none of the students knew John Wayne. I'm always mentioning people that nobody remembers. Errol Flynn. They don't remember Errol Flynn.
But Ted, can I ask you?
But many of these people were very good friends of my father, and they were interesting characters, and the book reveals some of their interesting characters. They were great people, too. He played with Groucho Marx. Groucho Marx liked my father a lot, so he always had him play his boss, and Groucho played Time for Elizabeth. He played the boss in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, took over the Rudy Valley role, and the director said he was the best actor he had in the play. So he had a long career with many great stars. Now, I liked them. I knew the stars. I showed you one of them, and you didn't think she was as lovely, but she was an elegant woman, so just really great people.
Hold on, Ted Bear. So he's talking about a little cigar get-together we do once a month, and he did show me a picture of, who was it? It was the famous gal.
She's a famous English actress, Greer Garson, and she was in some of the great English movies, and just a lady. You know, when he was in Annie Mae, Roz Russell, who was very nice to him, and liked him a lot. But she was a tough lady. Yeah. Lucille Ball starred in it. And I just listened to the biography of Lucille Ball. And Lucille Ball did not like children, by the way.
I hear that.
She threw a party for us, and I came with my father, and I must have been about 11 years old.
Yeah.
And Lucille Ball just did not like children. And her children went off the deep end for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were tough times. And you know, it's funny the things that Ted Bear holds on to that I didn't find Greer Garson spectacular in the aesthetics department. And you hold on to certain things. Maybe I need to see a better picture of her. And it's not about aesthetics. It is when it comes to women. Oh, did you hear me?
But Matt, I've got a question.
You know, it's also about, at that time, about acting and you know, some of the great movies that these people do that are just absolutely spectacular. And she took over the Roz Russell part in Annie Mae and made her own. When B. Lilly took over the part in Annie Mae, B. Lilly couldn't remember her lines. It was extremely... So not everybody can take over a famous part and make it their own.
Yeah, but speaking of Lily, that was the name of this man's beautiful wife. My brother Mart has a question for Ted Bear.
This is Marty, by the way. Hi, Ted. Hey, Ted.
Hi.
Now, you said the fame is gone. Let me ask you something. Do you think it's possibly because the social media, it took away the mystique of the star, the mystique of the movie star, the rock star, everything is too easy accessible now. I think that's a big reason the fame is gone. I think anybody can meet somebody on social media. You have Instagram.
So are you making a statement or asking a question? Ted, what's your take?
I like the statement. I'll agree with the statement.
Yeah.
And most of the kids I'm teaching now, very smart. They're the best of the best. We get a lot of applications. But really, because you're in a tidal wave of news, a tidal wave of information, they really cannot focus on anything 10 years ago. I mean, if you move... Yeah, I recommend great movies from a couple of years ago, and they've never even seen them. And I'm going, hey, what happened?
What happened is right. Yeah, you could say that about a lot of things. Hey, so our buddy, our president, who you weren't completely sure about in the first election, I remember sitting outside of your studios, and we were smoking stogies, and we were talking about him. It's like, I said, Ted, who else are you going to vote for? Do you remember this conversation? Who else? You know, he's going to be a great president.
You got to remember two things. Our family has known his family for a long time.
Right.
One side of my family gave his father, a lot of money to get back in business after he went bankrupt. My son was one of the two heads of domestic policy in the first Trump administration, and now he's been asked to be head of veterans legal team, 750 lawyers. I think he's doing a great job. I think he did a great job in the first administration. And, I also think he could be more like Ronald Reagan, who I love a lot. So Ronald Reagan, I introduced him to 3 big events. And every time I introduced him, and I guess I introduced him before he started losing his memory, he'd say, Ted, I remember your father. He was such a great actor. They were on the board of SAG together in the 1960s when SAG got residuals for people. My father did all his movies in his 30s, so you didn't get any residuals. And I just had the head of Disney teach, and at one point he found a Disney movie that the New York Times said my father didn't do, which he's the star of. So I sent it to the New York Times because they lie. So that's it.
Speaking of Reagan, I'm going to play this short clip. The great Ronald Reagan. You wish that Trump. We wish a lot of things. The left is always.
I like
wishing.
Trump. I don't want to be negative.
No, and you're
I don't
not.
want to be negative.
You're not coming off negative in any way, shape, or form. He is Ronald Reagan without the diplomacy, right? Is that fair? But this is Reagan as contemporary as today's headlines, and this goes back to the 80s. Listen to Ronald Reagan back in time.
Ever notice how every time a Republican takes office, the Democrats start acting like it's the end of the world? I mean, the minute we cut taxes or trim the budget, they start screaming that the sky is falling. Now, don't get me wrong, I admire their consistency. If the stock market surges, they say it's just helping the rich. And if it crashes, they say, yep, that's what happens under Republican leadership. And don't even get me started on foreign policy. A Republican president could be shaking hands with world leaders and signing peace deals, and they'd say, it must be appeasement. But the minute there's tension overseas, they rush to the nearest camera like it's Black Friday saying, see, we told you the world would catch fire if he was in charge.
Yep.
Now, I've always said, it's fine to disagree on policy. That's democracy. But if your best shot at winning is hoping the American people lose,
yes,
well, maybe you're in the wrong country.
How about that? Ronald.
Amen.
Amen is right. Man, what a smart man. What a smart president. Ted Baer, the name of your book, my good sir.
That's a long name. The Golden Age of Hollywood and Broadway, The Legacy of Robert Allen, or Bob Tex Allen.
Yeah, his daddy. So give it again for those who are not paying attention, which is most of our audience.
Okay, The Golden Age of Hollywood and Broadway, The Legacy of Robert Allen.
Look up Ted Baer, and you will find this book, which is available through the regular channels. I love this man dearly. He has a big party tomorrow night, right? Is that thing still on?
Yeah, and I'll see you at the party. Let me say one thing about the book. If you're one of the first, maybe 1,000 people who buy the book on Amazon, we'll give you a link to one of his movies, which we won't be giving out for very long. But anyway, we'd love to let you see one of the great movies, like Crime and Punishment with Peter Lorre.
Yeah, and $10,000. Is that what you said, Ted?
Can I get that link? And $10,000?
Yeah, thank you. No, you're giving the $10,000. You're the one who's giving the bride. I'm just giving him the link to a movie.
All right, this man, if my face heals in time, I've got a big Mel Gibson beard right now because I was bitten by a brown recluse, or it was either a black widow, and so it's healing right now. And would you mind if I showed up all scruffy, looking like a Mel Gibson beard?
No, I'd love it.
Okay.
It would make it much better for me.
Okay. So you wouldn't have to look at my face.
Otherwise, you're too handsome, and that's the problem.
All right, Ted, you are such a truth teller. Listen, Ted Bear, my friends, one of my favorite people. I love you dearly. God bless you.
God bless. Have a great day.
Yeah.
You too. Bye, Ted.
That's a good man. That's a good man, Ted Bear. Obviously, completely conservative. And I've learned a lot about God and the Bible through that man. And all positive stuff. Without the Bible, how would we know what is right and what is wrong? You know, even if you don't, for some reason, you're a naysayer, you don't believe in God, we have no barometer if not for the Bible to know that killing is a bad thing.
No,
otherwise, it's fine.
I defer to Ralph. I go to New Yorkers.
What, Catholic?
What's right is wrong.
Catholic man, Ralph Odierna?
Yeah. What's right and wrong? What's right from wrong? Right? Is it okay to kill someone?
Of course it is.
Sometimes.
Ralph is killing you with his eyes right now.
You mean if they deserve it?
Yeah, they're bad people.
Barbara Streisand. Boy, what a segue.
Yeah. Wow.
Talk about somebody that needs to be killed. Oh,
big old schnozeroo Barbara Streisand says she's horrified every day by Trump's chaos, corruption, and cruelty. Huh? Speaking of Trump, yeah, I got to play it. I know you've heard it a million times, but it's only about 8 seconds. But this is Trump and the F-bomb, and it's just so good. It's so good. Dig this.
I'm not seeing it.
It's on your other page there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We need to pay the producer more than minimum wage.
Oh, boy.
It's not. Oh, boy.
Any monkey can push a button.
Oh,
well.
Man.
Yeah.
Not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what they're doing. Do you understand that?
Understand that.
How great was that, though? I mean, just
I love though
president
that even the folks on the right and even those on Fox, and I'll be the first one to tell you this. It was calculated. He knew he was going to say it. It wasn't just blurted out.
He's a freaking chess master.
Yes, he knew exactly what he was saying. He knew exactly, and diplomatically, he has to sort of blame both sides, you see. That's part of the negotiation. He knows that Iran are bad guys. They're the ones that did what they did to Jerusalem and that entire state the size of New Jersey. You know, they were the bad guys, but he has to be. And so he even was thrown under the bus by some lefties. It's like, well, how can you blame, they're not equal part. Don't you understand? Don't you even get what he does?
Yeah, look, this is for Trump. He negotiated a ceasefire. You can't make him look bad. He's going to call you on it.
Yes.
Even if you're his friend.
Right.
He's going to call you out on it.
Is that the first president in history that said the F-bomb?
No, Truman.
No,
said it all the time.
Really?
But Streisand, big schnozeroo Streisand claims she's horrified every single day by Donald Trump's chaos, corruption, and cruelty as she works on our newest project, The Secret Life of Partners, Volume 2, an album of duets with some of music's biggest names. In an interview, she revealed that she is teaming with artists like Sting, Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, Seal, and newcomers such as pop star Laufey from Iceland.
No idea.
Anybody? No.
99 lift balloons.
But amid her effort to tout her new album,
99.
Streisand couldn't resist popping off about the evils of Donald Trump, one of her favorite topics. The Yentl star told the AP that she has ongoing mental distress over the Trump administration. She even claimed that her worries about Trump may have caused her to pick some of the darker songs for her new album.
Nice.
She says her torment may have influenced her decisions to include Sting's Fragile and a new version of Love Will Survive from the Tattooist of Auschwitz series. I'd like to be happier, Streisand said, as she kvetched over Trump. But every time I turn on the television, I'm a glutton for punishment, obviously. I'm fascinated and horrified at the same time, you know. The Oscar winner claimed that she recently had dinner with New Jersey Democrat Senator, get ready for it, Cory Booker. There's a winner.
Spartacus.
There's a winner, who described the Trump administration creating chaos, corruption, and cruelty. And the one thing I can say about Streisand, good singer. She's a good singer.
Well, Matt, what would you do with her nose full of quarters?
What would I do? I'd be a millionaire.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd be a multimillionaire.
Her husband must be the greatest cuckold in the history
Oh.
of the world.
Oh, God.
Poor guy, and I love him.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I love him. I love his son.
You mean Pierce Brosnan?
No.
No. Oh, James Brolin.
James Brolin.
James Brolin.
Yeah, talk about Westworld.
Sounds like Pierce Brosnan. Happened to be James Brolin.
Yeah. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Well, what was that movie?
Westworld.
Oh yeah, that was the best when the snake bites him.
That's
and
not supposed to
That's
happen.
not supposed to happen. Yeah. I got to tell you, you have, we rarely use the word cuckold, but I will tell you, when it comes to Streisand's wife, husband,
Jimmy.
I think you're spot on, my friend. It's a little fright. It's got to be frightening being him.
No kidding.
Doesn't it?
Is she going to cut me off?
Or he's waiting around for her to go.
And you're not talking about sex here.
No.
No. Oh. Anyway, God, long life, Barbra Streisand. We need more kooks like you letting us know who you are and where you live. They're in Malibu, where all the lefties live.
And James, I'm sorry.
Yeah, James Brolin, God bless you, buddy.
You could take the ball gag out of your mouth, you'd have something to say.
Yeah, I interviewed him years ago, man. And a good man, a good guy, minding his own business, happened to marry Streisand. All right, when we come back, climate doomer celebs are flocking in private jets to a certain wedding, and Gavin Newsom is suing Fox News. Of
course he is.
All that and less on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, which please subscribe to us on Rumble, on X, and the finest stations in the nation. Thanks for being there.
What's up, Radio Land? Tattoo Dave here. Just wanted to check in and say hello. I'm reading the chat here, and I'm just wondering where everybody is. I mean, you guys really need to step it up. We're not chatting. Things aren't going on like they're supposed to. It's very discouraging. So get in there, tell two friends so they can tell two friends, and then maybe they'll tell two friends, and we'll get things rolling here because you guys aren't as active as normal. But all that's being said, we love you, and thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, follow us, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, the Facebook page. Just do what you can to keep us going because we want to do what we do so you can do what you do. Love you.
hoofbeats of a golden palomino, carrying a man who fights wherever justice needs a champion. In a hideaway on the other side of the hill, with Hollywood close enough to smell, one man dared to step up to the bar and talk. And other outlaws heard the legend and joined together to tell their tales. This is how it began. Smoking, drinking, interrupting. Magic Matt Allen. This is Outlaw Radio.
Of course, leave it to Tattoo Dave to leave the party early a couple Saturdays ago, right after I came down with a spider bite. And
you got the spider bite at the party?
No, I got the spider bite a few days before and attended this party at Cyrus Nowrasta's house anyway. Anywho, Cyrus Nowrasta, one of the great directors, great writers, and producers of meaningful films. You know, really, if you've never seen The Pathway or The Path to 9/11, it is a great series that well, the Clintons had a real problem with and had ABC take it down.
Shut it down.
And they
Shut it down.
They were supposed to play it several times, one showing. And if you can find that, and it's not easy, Path to 9/11 with what's his name, the dude that should have been a bigger star. He's like De Niro is his nemesis because he always looks at De Niro as being. It's like I'm a better actor, Harvey Keitel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Van Allen.
No, Harvey Keitel.
I mean, he's a pretty big name. I think
Not compared to Robert De Niro.
Right.
Not even close.
And I agree with him, though.
And Keitel is one hell of an actor.
Awesome.
But he stars in this Path to 9/11, and it's Cyrus Nowrasta. And at that party, and I've been debating the last couple of weeks whether to bring this up, so I will, because I'll probably do the wrong thing. But Tattoo Dave, my bodyguard, was already gone by this time.
Tell me you got into a fight after
We're sitting. It happened.
Oh, my God.
We're sitting around the fire in the backyard, enjoying some bourbon and quaffing some bourbon and cigars. Now, by the way, I was not one of these drunk as a skunk nights. It wasn't that.
And you're demure. You don't bring up a lot of topics that are controversial.
We're all conservative. We're 99.9% conservatives at this little get-together.
It was a hell of a nice time.
I will tell you what it is in a nutshell. Is Cyrus Nowrasta's manager, this punk. Do you know the guy?
Is it the little curly-haired dude with the glasses? Was his Neil or what was his name?
I don't remember curly hair, and I'm trying to put his name out of my noggin.
In that circle by the fire pit, he was on the outside left, next to Bart.
No, it doesn't matter. He's a little guy though.
Yeah. So, it's the guy. That's who I'm thinking.
So he's a little guy. He has hated me for some reason. He has had a hard-on for me since the first time we met, like 8 years ago, over at Cyrus Nowrasta's house. And I don't know what it is about this guy, but he's
he's a lefty.
He's always trying to pick a fight with me. And so here I'm trying to get through this, trying to ignore him, but he's always picking. And so finally I took the bait and I went after him. And so now he stands up and he says, "Right now, man, right?" You want to go? I said, listen.
Go where?
I said, how embarrassing that would be for me to kick your frickin' ass at my buddy's house. That would be absolutely terrible. Now we made.
Why do I always miss that?
I know
stuff?
you do. We made up sort of, and let me tell you why. Out of respect for Cyrus Nowrasta and this man, this punk, he is a punk. By the way, what do you think he drives?
I'm guessing a Tesla or a Prius.
Nope, a 911 Porsche.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Of course he does.
Is that perfection?
His mom's car.
Yeah. No, I think for some reason this guy must be a good manager because Cyrus and his lovely spousal equivalent adore him, and he obviously does good things for them. So because of that, I defer to their good sense if he's helping them. And I said that night. That's fine. Even though I was throwing him under the bus left and right, and that's when he challenged me to a fight. And it's like those who know me know that, even after a couple bourbons, I'm a wallflower. 3, 2. but
all I know is every time I see a dive bar with 14 motorcycles out front, I'm like, this is not going to be
I'm
fun.
not going in.
No, if I'm in there, you're right. Yeah, you want to stay away. But by the way, that's not me anymore.
No.
Well, until 2 weeks ago Saturday.
Yeah, well, but it wasn't me. I wasn't. He's always antagonizing. He's had, for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe he tunes into this show, and maybe he is. I think he's more left than he is right.
So what's the end of the story?
The end of the story is
they hugged it out.
We sort of hugged it out because of my love for Cyrus
There you
Nowrasteh.
go, man.
And I will
You took the high road.
I will tell you, Cyrus's lovely spousal equivalent said,
Betsy.
he said he's done a lot for us. And he said, talking about the manager, but Cyrus, dig this about this good man. He said, well, Matt has done a lot for us as well.
Wow.
Huh?
Stepped up.
That's Cyrus. So
Stepped up.
I just want I want you to know, no hard feelings. As long as this little douchebag, okay, I take that back.
No, you don't.
This douchebag, I'm sorry for calling you little, but this as long as this guy is helping and furthering your careers,
God bless
then
him.
I will just shut the F up.
How is this the first I've heard of this after 2 weeks? You never even mentioned it to me.
No, I didn't, and that's why I'm mentioning it now. And
By the way, Betsy is a sweetheart.
oh, she's the greatest.
Dave, you want to make a road trip?
Yes.
And she makes the greatest casserole.
Yeah, Cyrus's wife is the greatest of all time. Look up Cyrus Nowrasteh.
I have a Cadillac with a big trunk.
I told you that's right. Your first
By the way,
That's an SUV.
bad people.
That's an SUV, Ralph. You can see in it.
this guy is
Give a trip to
this guy
Nevada.
is so tiny you could put 5 of him back there. But
It is the guy. It is the guy I'm thinking of.
anyway, God bless Cyrus Nowrasteh.
But what would Dave have done?
I
He would
know.
have caused a bigger
Well,
ruckus.
no.
I would have ended up making an enemy out of Cyrus and being kicked out of the house.
No, it's good. It's good that you were God.
But that's what you do. You save the master.
Yes, God. God works in mysterious ways.
That's right.
Speaking of numbskulls, but not short guys,
numbskull.
Gavin Newsom, who's
Could you please refer to him
like
as
6'2" or something?
Yeah, he's a tall
He's like
gentleman.
6'4".
Yeah, he's a tall guy. He sues Fox News for $787 million, claiming the network defamed him over the L.A. riots.
Do you know why he sued
I don't-
for 787?
Yeah, dig this.
Yeah, because that's what they lost on the Tucker Carlson suit.
Yeah. Okay. Good boy.
Yeah.
Good boy, Gavin. Doing anything to stay in the damn spotlight.
Yeah, like he needs any more money.
Fox News for $787 for its deceptive editing of a call he had with President Trump during the L.A. How can he prove damages? Therein lies the question. It's different, the other lawsuit. How can Gavin prove damages?
He can't.
He can't.
Especially since Trump showed the phone of the phone call.
Yes, this
exactly.
This holds absolutely no water. And speaking of water, the little video clip that I saw was Jeff Bezos with his new bride in that beautiful boat.
Oh, yeah.
And tens of millions of dollars he spent on this wedding.
55.
They're all there still, leaving tomorrow.
$55 million.
Yes.
As climate doomer celebs flock in private jets to Jeff Bezos' wedding in Venice.
He's a moron.
Yeah, except for he's got a good product.
Yeah, but
No,
you know what? If
he lost $44 billion in his first divorce.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
And he's getting married again?
I still use his product.
Yeah.
No, so do I.
Yeah, but at least he marries women who have not had reconstruction surgery on their face, and they don't look like they've been hit with a plastic surgery doctor in
What's her
Beverly
name?
Hills.
Lauren something? What's her
Lauren
name?
Sanchez.
Yeah, Dirty Sanchez.
More holes in her than at the L.A. Country Club.
Hey,
no, that's
I'm
just-
sure P. Diddy was
That
there.
is just absolutely so uncalled for. How many holes?
A lot.
Yeah, many.
At least 19.
A throng of Hollywood celebrities who spent years lecturing about the peril we all face from climate change hopped on private jets set for Venice, where Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez 3-day wedding extravaganza took place. And by the way, they weren't all lefties, I mean, he's an equal opportunity offender, but A-listers like Leonardo DiCaprio, Mick Jagger, Orlando Bloom, and
They said it was fame in the likes of the Oscars.
Oh yeah, his ex-fiance was there, Katy Perry.
Yes.
No, she wasn't there.
It says, hold on.
Katy Perry was not there. She was on tour. But,
Yeah,
her,
that's
but her
right.
boyfriend, Orlando Bloom, went
Orlando
anyway.
was there.
Hold
that's
on a
right.
second. His ex-fiancee, Katy Perry, flocked to the picturesque floating city while mega wealthy stars, many of whom own their
He
own
was never
private
engaged
jets,
to Katy Perry.
landed at Marco Polo Airport in the days leading up to this incredible bash. Kim Kardashian, who spent years fighting climate change, arrived in her $65 million Gulfstream G650.
Gotta love those Kardashians.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey, who once said the future of life as we know it depends on how we combat climate change, landed in her G700 in Venice earlier in the week with her gal pal Gayle King.
Hypocrite.
Oh, good
But
Lord.
the biggest irony is they use Venice as the example for global climate change, where it's sinking.
Yeah, well, of course it is. For years. It will be underwater at some point. Sir Elton John, who owns an apartment in Venice, I guess he was performing as his Lady Gaga. Hollywood mogul Ari Emanuel, who once lectured President Donald Trump about the dangers of climate change, was also in Venice, reportedly arriving on a Global 6000 owned by Emanuel's firm Endeavor Group Holdings. Guest list comes to more than 200, including Jordan's Queen Renea, Tom Brady, Ivanka Trump, Usher, fashion designer Spencer Adel. There were a reported 100 or more private jets landing in town for the festivities.
Why is Tom Brady sniffing
How about
around?
that, huh?
Any word if Greta Thunberg tried to crash the wedding?
Not
How
yet.
dare you?
But yeah, we're waiting. And why wasn't she invited?
That's right.
Not having enough? Really not having enough in the biz?
How dare you?
You'd think that she would be there, but no, not having enough.
How dare you?
I want to know about Tom Brady, though. What the hell?
Did I
is
say
that?
Tom Brady? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, what the hell is he?
Well, I'll tell
why
you
is
why.
he sniffing around these
Well,
things,
I'll tell you why.
dude?
Because of his young chick.
Not just that. He's the greatest quarterback in football.
He is.
Yeah.
And so Bezos has to have the greatest of everybody.
Right.
Yep. Getting married again.
Bezos.
Can you imagine that, getting married again? Why?
Why? You just lost $44 billion.
Oh, what is the
I'm
point?
guessing it's a huge tax write-off.
What is the point here? And I want to get to a couple.
Well, he always wanted to marry an astronaut.
After he made her one.
Yeah. By the way, it looks like she's wearing an astronaut face mask at all times. Is it just me? Or
No.
I don't.
She looks like a sleaze stack.
She does, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, the best part of Bezos' divorce thing is Lauren Sanchez is never allowed to produce a film that goes on Prime.
I'll be a son of a gun.
Did you see Dirty Sanchez?
Dirty Sanchez.
Yeah.
That
That was part of the divorce agreement.
I was listening to some cuts, and a couple of these caught my a couple of them new, a couple of them old, and if I don't get to these now, I'll forget. Remember the gourd season woman?
Oh, Lord.
I listened to it again, and it made me laugh again. This is a gal talking about the beautiful time of year when gourds are the thing in your house as sort of a place setting, and because they look so cool. And I forget the gal's name.
She's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
I
she's a
forget her
stand-up
name, man.
comedian. But man, does
Very funny.
she knocks this out of the park. It's gourd season, my friend.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait to get my hands on some f***ing gourds and arrange them in a horn-shaped basket on my dining room table. That is going to look so seasonal. I'm about to head up to the attic right now, find that wicker f***er, dust it off, and jam it full of an insane assortment of shellacked vegetables. When my guests come over, it's going to be like, blammo! Check out my shellacked decorative vegetables, ass. Guess what season it is? In fall. There's a nip in the air, and my house is full of mutant squash. It's decorative gourd season. Mother.
Oh, she's good.
It's decorative gourd
she's
season,
good.
Mother effers.
Yeah, and we're not quite there yet. We have to, summer just started. So, but I'll bring it back. Yes, Ralph?
There's a guest I'd like to bring to the show.
Yeah, who is that?
But you have to have Tony Orlando call in on the day my guest is here.
I can do that.
It's Clive Davis's son.
Oh, yeah. Really? Oh, yeah. Excellent.
That's
Excellent.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Too bad Clive Davis, not much of a success. It's too bad.
He could have went somewhere.
Well, he had his fingers in all that musical stuff, and it's like, God, man, he really could have been something.
His son is a massive cigar smoker.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. And the answer is yes. Yes. And I'll set it up, and Tony will be here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, God willing, he's just turned 81. Let me get to this one.
Something McSweeney, something.
Who? What?
The comedian that the gourd season.
I don't care. That train is that train is pulled out, but this is not pulled out. This is our favorite Robster. And boy, is he spot. This guy has been on a roll.
Oh, he's on
as
fire.
Of late. Yeah, Rob Schneider, dig this.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait.
Well, that would be the gourd season again. Right. Yeah, that would be.
Why did Rob Schneider do that?
Producer.
I don't know. I don't wait. Why would Rob Schneider do the same bit?
It said it was an impersonation
about gourds. I don't understand that. Let's try it again.
President Trump this week just did an executive order saying that boys can no longer play in girls' sports. That's it. That's it. Ladies, isn't it ironic that the biggest protector of women turned out to be the pussy grabber? Huh? Maybe the guy who grabs it knows how to protect it the best. Think about that? Think about that?
I love that. When we return, I found a little tidbit from Kamala that I found really, really funny, and we'll replay that. All that and much less in minutes on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, which you really should. If you haven't subscribed yet, only 2% of you subscribe. So if we could get it up to like 4%, my gosh, you'd be making a happy day here in Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio land and the finest stations in the nation. Thanks for being there. How about a little funk, my friend? Come on now, Johnny Guitar Watson. Gonna slap you side the head. Huh.
Wanna buy a new car, but the price ain't right. Ain't that cold? Be a damn sight cheaper. Yes, it do. Started riding the bike. Listen, they're making milk out of powder. Yeah, they are. Got the babies crying. Poor baby, they know what that stuff is. Rent's gone up higher. Yes, it is. Got the parents lying. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah. Make you wanna run for cover, yes it will. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Good God. Listen, got to go to a disco. Throw your troubles away. Dance to the music that the DJ plays. Well, all right. And then the lights come on, yeah, like you knew they would. That cold. Gone home and face the music that don't sound too good. Ain't that cold? Listen, Lord, it's a real motherfucker. It'll make you wanna run for cover.
This is Outlaw Radio.
All right, my friendlies, welcome back. Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Smoking, drinking, interrupting from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar. And by the way, we haven't pimped this in
I was
a while.
just going to say that.
BuyMeABourbon.com. Go to BuyMeABourbon.com.
I do it every week.
And buy us a bourbon.
You do?
Yeah. Well, Ralph does when he's here.
Yeah.
BuyMeABourbon.com. It'll only cost you $5. I think that's it. That's inexpensive at any cost, but $5 to buy us a bourbon, your friends on the show, your freedom fighting fanatics.
You don't want us doing the show sober.
No. That would be way
Not a chance.
Way too smart, and you might get something out of it at that point. Hey, comedian Andrew Schultz accuses Kamala Harris of lying about a podcast invite, calling him sexist and racist. Comedian Andrew Schultz is claiming Kamala Harris and her team blatantly lied when they claimed he did not reach out to them to get Harris on his podcast, added that they told him they weren't interested in his show because he is sexist, bigoted, and racist. Schultz, who voted for Trump in 24, not because he likes Trump, but because he was opposing the Democrat agenda, because I don't think this guy is a righty by any stretch of the imagination. No, but he voted for Trump. Says that he and his team absolutely did reach out to Harris to get the Democrat nominee on his popular Flagrant podcast. He also says he tried to get Minnesota Democrat Governor Tim Walz, smart man.
Oh,
what
my
a
God.
smart man. And Biden Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, another
Buttigieg.
Booty Gaga.
Buttigieg.
Booty Giggin.
I like it.
As well, and they were he was rebuffed by all of them.
Buttigieg.
He revealed all this in a recent New York Times interview podcast. He added that he was told by operatives for Harris that his offer was rejected because he's a podcast bro and that he is sexist, bigoted, and racist. It's wild to blatantly lie when not only did I reach out, Charlemagne, who's working with them, reached out. Mark Cuban, who's a surrogate, reached out. And we reached out. And then when people write articles about it, they'll say, Andrew says he reached out to Kamala, but we reached out to the Kamala people, and they said it never happened. I think it's an indictment on me because it's almost like calling me a liar, he added. Schultz also explained he considers himself a lifetime Democrat, but that he voted for Trump because the Democrat Party has gone off the rails. Do you think just a little bit?
Buttigieg.
Yeah. I voted. It's so funny. I just think we can
the
take
word of
that
the
into
week.
the next hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, our producer thinks it's fine.
I guess so.
Buttigieg.
I voted against a Democratic institution that I feel was stripping the democratic process. Anyway, so obviously he invited Kamala, and Kamala's people said no. Said, I'm not going to do it, man. Supporters of Bernie Sanders also accused the Democrats of rigging the system to push Hillary Clinton into the party's nomination in 2016. Do you think Bernie Sanders would have won? Do you think that he had a better shot than Hillary?
Yes.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too, only because,
Americans
as my best buddy has always said, Hillary is unelectable. What are you doing in there?
Nothing.
I know that, but I mean, what are the sounds that I'm
I
hearing?
was just, because you leave it up to my.
All right. Speaking of Kamala, I found this little tasty tidbit. Fourth down on your page, and
That's what I was doing.
I listened to a little of it, and I was getting a kick out of it. So let's see what this is all about. Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and this is my rebranding. I get it. Until now, Americans have seen me as that childless Karen that always has too many drinks at the cocktail party, and you don't have the heart to tell my husband Doug that he's a whipped beta male married to an insufferable witch. Look, I get it. I'm unlikable. I'm inauthentic. I say crazy shit.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. When we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community. You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
And yes, okay, I was the border czar. And so even though I might have been a bad vice president, what I do have is ambition. You would not believe what I would do for this country.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who am I kidding? If you vote for me, you're as cringe as Chuck Schumer.
We are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Buttigieg.
You don't have to.
Let's all see what can be, unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean the Biden-Harris administration. Vote Trump 2024. Let's make America great again.
Nice. When we return, Brad Pitt, right here in L.A., man. Home, ransacked. I saw this aerial photo of his home. My God, that guy's made way too much money. Holy cow, is that a gorgeous joint. Plus, queer bookseller blacklists Harry Potter books. That and much less in minutes on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, on Rumble, on X, on YouTube, and the finest stations in America. Thank you for spending time with us. Hit it now.
Buttigieg.
Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop skipping. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot. And my band bought that money. hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, hey, hey,
Buttigieg. Buttigieg.
don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh! Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some nigga in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot. Bitch, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too
You guys should talk into the mics because they're on.
Comics don't change their set when they go to a different state. They use the same set.
This is what we talk about, guys, when we're on break.
If they do Madison Square Garden 3 nights in a row,
No, okay,
they change their fucking set.
What Ralph brought up was the fact that it was Ryan Stiles at one of the shows years ago here, and Kip Addotta was in attendance, another comedian, stand-up, and Ryan was talking to Bruce Gary, drummer from the Knack, or was it?
It was Prescott.
It was Prescott Niles, our bass player friend, and the exact quote, because Ryan was so spot on.
Ryan said, "You guys can sing the same song night after night, and people keep cheering. We can't do the same joke night after night, and people will keep cheering."
No, they'll boo.
That's
They'll
right.
boo. We don't want to hear that again.
You know what I thought about
it,
this?
and that's what I said. It's an easier gig being a
No,
rock
it's
star
not
than a
true.
comedian.
It is true.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they want to hear
No, it's not true
Buttigieg.
because you go venue to venue.
No, you're talking about venue.
Doing the same song.
You do 3 nights in a row, Madison
You
Square
go
Garden.
venue to
Doing
different
the
venue
same
in the
songs.
And you do the same stand-up jokes that you do venue to venue to
can't
venue.
do the same
in the same venue.
That's what he was.
Yeah, but you gotta change it up though. Whoa, there went your mic. All right.
I would think that Mark Boyer was here.
Turn off our mics, please.
I will not. Buttigieg.
doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
He just passed out.
Oh,
yeah. Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
At the Lightning Month Lounge. Oh, man. We're here with Matt. Oh, yeah. At the Lightning Lounge. Oh, little Outlaw Radio. We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
Oh, yeah. That aforementioned Magic Matt Allen. Looking more like Mel Gibson every day. Look at these follicles. Look at these white hair, white bearded son bitch. Yeah, it's fine. Welcome back, my friends and friendlies. Welcome back to Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Smoking, drinking, interrupting from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar. This guy, boy, he's made more money than I had any idea because I saw aerial footage of this man's mansion. Holy cow, it's gorgeous. It's one of those that I'm looking at and thinking, you know, I'd sort of like to live there. Right, Ralph?
Oh,
Did you
no
see
kidding.
that picture of this thing?
What's the first rule of Fight Club?
What? I don't know. What is it?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
He was in the movie Fight Club.
Yeah, Brad Pitt, his home ransacked by burglars. A break-in at a home reportedly owned by Brad Pitt was being investigated by police a couple days ago as the actor continues his globe-girdling promotional tour for his latest movie, F1 the Movie.
That looks good.
I have no. Isn't that funny? See that, but this is what makes the world work.
Yeah.
Is that I have no interest in watching a movie about racing.
Well, you're a guy that doesn't drive for the most part, so
I've driven all my damn life.
you got one almost DUI, and then you stop driving, and everybody drives you, and I drive for a living.
Let me help Dave out because, honest to God, it's time that you would listen to some facts. This had nothing to do with almost getting a DUI about 28 years ago. This has everything to do with if indeed I am enjoying a libation at a dive bar somewhere, I simply will not drive. But do I enjoy driving? Not like I used to. But do I drive? Yes, of course I drive.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't even understand.
But the guy's
It's really, hey Dave, I love you as a producer.
No, let's get into it.
But honest to God, it's really none of your effing business.
Ooh,
when I
you
drive.
almost said it.
I drove yesterday, the day before, but
guess what? No, you didn't. Guess what? No, you didn't. And guess what? You know what I'd say about that?
Okay.
Buttigieg.
All right.
Oh, I win.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
I win.
Okay. I read. Larry,
No, wait, was it 3 minutes?
Oh, it's less.
Yeah. It was
I said two.
That's the word of the week for me.
No, I said
Dude,
two.
it is so irrelevant. It's not even a good call.
Hold on, I'll get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, $5.
Is that your massive wad of singles that we got over there?
When Tattoo Dave was out of this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada style bar, here's the conversation I had with Ralph O'Dierda. I said, okay, fine.
Hold on a second.
Give it up.
Go ahead.
I said, is Tattoo Dave, our producer, going to have the common sense not to say that stupid word this hour,
Not a
which
chance.
which has absolutely no relevance to the show?
It has every relevance to the show.
Or the audience.
No.
Okay.
You
Ralph,
think that people tune in and tune out,
Ralph-
and they're in for 30 seconds, and then they're gone.
No, what I said was, why would he bring something up that's irrelevant?
Right.
And it makes no sense because there's no good callback.
Okay,
to it.
guess what?
There's no good callback.
Guess what? Since you're paying Ralph $5 for
Yeah.
a bet that you lost,
Yeah.
why don't you pay me for the ice that I brought the last couple of weeks, and pay me for
what-
my
what-
gas that I spent to go pick up all
Once
your
again,
stuff that
let's
you
look
needed.
up the word petulant.
No, it's not
in the dictionary.
petulant. It's just ridiculous.
That's exactly what you're being is petulant.
Guess what?
That is the dictionary
You know, that was
term.
that was at the right time.
Well,
No, Look.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Can we get back to Brad Pitt?
Yeah,
ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
And by the way, the guy's 51 years old. He's doing a driving movie.
No. He's older than that.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's got to be older.
He's like 58.
No, yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah, the entire movie he was driving with the left blinker on.
Okay, that's a joke you stole. All right, give me back.
I did steal that.
Give me back the $5.
But I do have a great Brad Pitt story, which is a true story.
All right,
this
tell
is
me.
1992.
Yeah.
You remember Greenblatt's Deli?
No,
Yes, of course.
Greenblatt's. P.S. What did I have there? Oh, overpriced deviled eggs, but really good.
Yeah, but any deli is overpriced.
Yeah.
Next door to Greenblatt's was a bar that had no signage, and it was a very highfalutin gay bar.
Hold on a second. Okay, this is why I don't know about it.
This is why Ralph does.
It was exactly. It was called Numbers. And
yeah, I've seen it, but I never knew what that was about. I never ventured in there.
Dick York was in there. All the celebrities were in there.
Okay.
So
by the way, Dick York, for those too young to understand, he was the second Darren on Bewitched.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was working at a Chinese restaurant in Melrose.
Obviously a homo.
And all of my waiters were gay. So they bring me up to Numbers. We're hanging out in Numbers, and Brad Pitt comes walking in.
Right.
I said, holy crap, I didn't know Brad was gay. They're like, no, he's not. I said, what the hell's he doing here? They looked at me and said, what are you doing here?
Good question.
Oh,
good damn question.
Yeah, and you were there because your co-workers?
Yes.
So what guy did you leave with that night?
Oh, it was cute.
Yeah.
By the way, Matt, you were set up, and Ralph owes me $5 because that was my deal.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Oh, God, you're petulant.
Anna, he is.
I bet 2 minutes.
What?
I think I said 2 minutes. He said 5.
Hey, by the way,
I said 2.
Buttigieg.
It's about 2.
Anna Wintour steps down as U.S. Vogue editor after nearly 40 years. Good, you old bag.
Yeah.
It's about time. You can't.
The Tattoo Day.
The Uncle Nearest is kicking in.
Speaking of non sequiturs, Anna Wintour. This woman, it's about time you step down. You can't put Melania on your
kidding.
cover. Screw you. Screw you.
But Michelle Obama 3 times?
Well, because she's so good looking.
You talking about Big Mike?
Yeah. Big Mike is so good looking. Anna Wintour stepped down as editor of U.S. Vogue after 37 years, during which she was often hailed as the single most influential figure in the all of this fluffy crap. The most influential. Follow the money. She was making an assload of money, so she was a smart broad who kept the world's most beautiful first lady off the cover of Vogue magazine. What an idiot stick. Good riddance. Good riddance.
Lowest guys you've ever seen.
Fat ass. I don't even know if she has a fat ass.
No,
but
she was about 98 pounds.
Oh, is that right? Queer bookseller blacklists Harry Potter books over J.K. Rowling's pro-women views. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, if you're pro-women, then you're on the right. You're on the. Wait a second.
Doesn't make any
Pro-women? No, of course not. A fascist bookstore in. Can you imagine what city this might be in?
San Francisco.
Yeah. Has blacklisted the popular Harry Potter books over author J.K. Rowling's perfectly reasonable opinions on the anti-woman transsexual movement. These modern-day McCarthyites who identify as queer booksellers.
Jesus.
This is their own moniker they put upon themselves. Posted a sign where the Potter books would normally be found that reads, in May of 25, author J.K. Rowling publicly committed to using her private wealth from Harry Potter to develop the J.K. Rowling Women's Fund, an organization dedicated to removing transgender rights in the workplace, in public life, and in protected female spaces. With this announcement, we've decided to stop carrying her books. We don't know exactly what her new women's fund will entail, but we know that we aren't going to be a part of it. As a group of queer booksellers, we also had our adolescences shaped by wizards and elves. Look at us. It's obvious if you are someone who you love, wants to dive into the world of Harry Potter, we suggest you do so by buying used copies of these books. So she's a great author. She's a great writer. As long as you don't give her new money, it's okay.
Transgender rights.
Talk about petulant, man. These queer booksellers, yeah?
She did the worst sin you could ever do.
Uh-huh.
She said if you took 10 trans women and put them on a desert island,
yeah,
in 100 years, anthropologists would say, who are these men?
Who are these men?
Yeah, true.
The J.K. Rowling Women's Fund.
Buttigieg.
The J.K. Rowling Women's Fund has a very simple, reasonable, and pro-women mission statement. They offer legal funding, support to individuals and organizations fighting to retain women's sex-based rights in the workplace. Yeah, that's really nasty, isn't it?
I just don't understand
it's pro-female, for God's sakes.
Where does transgender rights come in? As far as why aren't they
because
just
they're
rights?
ladies. Because they're ladies.
just
Don't you
ridiculous.
understand? Even though they're trans,
No, I don't.
They're ladies.
No, I don't.
Why are you answering that question when I was just being flippant?
Yeah, no.
Did you take one home?
It provides women what?
By accident.
Okay.
He used to live. Well, we know where he
What?
lived.
Oh, in West Hollywood. That's right. Tattoo Dave.
Yep.
It provides women with the means and competence to bring in justice cases that make legal precedents, force policy change. I got to tell you, I am such a fan of J.K. Rowling. She's such
awesome.
a good broad.
She's awesome.
Love her, man.
She's such a good broad. The lunatic transsexual movement is all about allowing biological men to steal women's sports accomplishments and then allow men into places that should only allow women. Places like, bathrooms, locker rooms, women's prisons, women's shelters. Men who believe they are women are either flouting a sexual fetish, mentally ill, or willing to identify as a woman as a mean to win sports victories they could never win competing against other men.
Pussies.
It's outrageous and a total violation of women's legal and moral rights, but these queer booksellers are so obviously hateful towards women, they have not only embraced McCarthyism, they are violating a cause against book banning they openly embraced just a few months ago. Yeah, because they talk out of both sides of their mouth. You're not left if you're not able to speak out of both sides. More proof that leftists believe in nothing but their own fascist cause. In December, book banning is the worst thing ever. Today, all in a perverted effort to allow men into women's bathrooms. Not so much. Leftists want men to be able to humiliate women during the game and then humiliate them again in the locker room. These people are something way beyond sick.
Give it up for yourself.
Yeah.
I will tell you where I do disagree with J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, okay.
If I ever get arrested, I'm identifying as a woman to go to women prison.
Yeah,
of course.
Of course.
Well, man, I'll tell you what. J.K. Rowling has one of the, and I've said it before.
And by the way, she's good looking, man. She's a hot broad.
Are you saying that because she's worth $2 billion?
No, I'm saying that because she's a hot older broad.
I must say that the best ride at Universal Studios is Harry Potter ride. If you've never been on it, it'll blow your ass away. It's
I got to
really
tell you,
ride.
we were doing a show at Universal Colony, and the actors would have us take them on the golf carts, and we snuck. They wanted to sneak into Harry Potter's. They wanted to sneak
Harry
in
Potter
there.
ride.
No, it's not just a ride. It's a whole huge.
Well, no, they have the roller coaster.
Yeah.
ride.
No, it's not just a ride. It's a whole huge area.
Right.
And they wanted to go there. It was the thing at Universal.
Those bratty
So
little.
you drove them there because you're a Teamster.
But Matt, those bratty little,
and we got busted for
snivelly
it.
little bastard actors that she puts on the map and makes them gazillions of dollars.
They're completely against J.K. Rowling.
Are a-holes.
The one that made them millionaires.
Of course.
Yeah, the actors in the movie.
Such as California.
Speaking of transsexual rights and big, ugly fuglies, Rosie O'Dummy says Trump presidency made her overeat, drink, and self-deport to Ireland because, of course, it's got to be Trump. It has nothing to do with herself, right?
You didn't do that before.
No. Actress and comedian Rosie O'Dummy said that President Trump's first term took such a toll on her mental health, she began overeating and drinking, which led to her eventual self-deportation to Ireland. She revealed her struggle with mental health speaking with Chris Cuomo on his podcast. I was very depressed. I was overeating. I was overdrinking. It hurt my heart that America believed the lies about him, and then it broke my heart to be in a business that creates and sells those lies for profit. She said she only decided to leave the country in fears for her mental health. Oh yeah, have you seen any of those blurbs? Her on video?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's her healthy. That's her mentally healthy.
Well, I remember how thin she was in A League of Your Own.
Oh, she was svelte. Oh my God, she's so pretty. Oh, so pretty. She calls it an act of self-preservation, adding she chose Ireland for having a different culture for celebrity and fame. When I got here, I noticed right away there was a different culture about celebrity. They're not lauded in Ireland. They're not thought of as better than anyone else. She said, coming here felt like coming home. According to Rosie O'Dummy, random strangers began to mock her in front of her autistic 12-year-old child after Trump won in November. Really, how many times did this happen with random strangers?
What I'd like to know is she left for Ireland,
Yeah.
but she left her drug-addicted daughter
Right.
back in Chicago.
Yeah, because she cares. She's a good mom.
Yeah, she's a
good mom.
she's a good
People
mom.
in CVS saying to me and my autistic 12-year-old, "Hey, Rosie, Trump won. Ha. One cursed at us," she recalled. "I find myself feeling safe," she said of Ireland. "There's no MAGA support here." All right, Rosie. And speaking
Now,
of... Yeah.
let me play something for this. You're going to love this.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
You can't say hold on.
Yeah, if you're going to play something.
Well, I'm going to play it, but it's going to be...
Okay. Yeah. Okay. While you're getting that ready...
We're on Northridge Radio right now.
Yeah.
One of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs,
Yeah.
dogs,
This is good.
slobs,
Yeah.
and disgusting animals.
This is that debate years
Your
ago.
Twitter account only Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
That's it.
By the way, I think that's what won him the presidency. That was just great.
I just got it. I had to put it in there.
Yeah, no, that was good because Americans heard that and said, "Okay, this is our guy.
Yeah,
this is our guy. This is the guy that tells it like it is, man." Oh, I love that. And speaking of big dumb actors, 2.5 Men star John Cryer says Iran, or is it Iran, or is it Iran?
Iran, please.
Is likely to see a bomb as their only route to real safety.
Well, hello. Not anymore.
CW's Supergirl star John Cryer reacted to the United States bombing Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend, a week ago, or depending on when you're watching us, it could have been 2 weeks ago, bizarrely declaring that Iran is likely to see a bomb as their only route to real safety. And, John, why, you America-hating son of a bitch?
Yeah, what a dumbass.
I'm going to give you a little call back to Gutfeld.
Yeah.
Gutfeld played a clip where a CNN reporter asked Trump a question, and Trump says, CNN, no one would hear this question anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Gutfeld says, we don't deserve Trump.
No, we don't. We don't. I've been
saying that for years.
I've been saying that for several years, man. We
Yeah.
don't deserve this man. We don't deserve this
Hey,
man.
isn't John Cryer the guy that was on 2.5 Men?
Yes.
That's why I was wondering why he said Supergirl instead of
John,
2.5 Men.
okay, oh, is that what you're wondering why?
Yeah,
So
that's
anyway,
why. Buttigieg.
So John Cryer.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's tough with this guy.
It is.
So
I'm going to make it tougher.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I began the story with 2.5 Men star John Cryer.
No, you didn't. You said Supergirl star.
Okay. Let's see. $1,000?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I heard you say Supergirl.
Really? Yes, I did mention Supergirl. I certainly did.
Okay, whatever. Buttigieg.
You don't want to start this. You don't want to take this bet because
Listen, you're not going to pay me anyway because you don't pay
Matt's
for anything.
buying it for $1,000, and it's not his money.
man, does he have a lot of deep-seated hatred for me?
Oh,
And
he's
it's
an-
just-
he's
it's-
an angry white man.
He is an angry half-white man.
Give it up for yourself.
But he plays the
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I love you. I don't hate you. You kidding me?
Okay.
I'm just calling you out.
the bluest skies you've ever seen.
But if you call someone out, then you should be able to base it with facts. That's what we do on the
Or be
right.
right.
Yeah, or
Okay,
be
well,
correct.
I have the facts.
Damn it.
What?
No, I just-
What, you're,
No, it's like
Marty is so happy that it's not on him right now.
no, I'm not happy about that. I'm
Yeah.
just frustrated because
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
is.
It's like me
Well,
being
think-
in my studio
right.
recording.
Think of
and
what
I
the
run to put
audience.
my headphones
Think
on,
of what the
and I try
audience
to
just
see-
trying
I
to
know.
enjoy the show.
The audience loves me.
No, according to AI, they love me.
No, according to AI, you're ugly with you put your finger in a socket. Look at your hair.
No, I'm just telling you. AI, we started the show
Oh, no.
3 hours ago,
Matt, I'm ready to walk out.
Okay,
already.
me too,
and
man.
the most AI clips watched were mine.
It's just off
This
the
is
off the rails.
punk-ass
However, let's
bullshit.
bring it back
I mean,
with
I
this
said-
random Mexican on
Write that down.
his ideas on ICE and illegal. Incidentally, the definition of illegal, it's sick bird. That's the definition of illegal, sick bird. But
bird.
illegal immigration. This guy, I think, is funny as hell. He's obviously of Mexican descent. And why do Mexicans speak Spanish? Why don't they speak Mexican?
They do. That's exactly right.
They do what?
They speak Mexican. Spanish.
Okay, I'm done.
Mexican is a
I've gotta
slang.
go.
Listen,
I mean,
you know what? F you, Marty. I lived in Spain
Wait, you're
for
too
3
loud.
years.
You're too loud. Turn your mic down a little
I
bit.
lived in Spain for 3 years. Spanish is the original.
Right.
Mexican is a slang. That's what it is.
Well, that is true.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
then they don't speak Spanish.
That's like saying people in America
Right.
speak slang
They
British.
speak American.
That is exactly right.
Yeah. Mexicans speak Spanish. This is a random Mexican dude.
¿Qué pasó, vato?
And it looks like he's out on a farm, and I'm digging this guy a lot. Listen to the whole thing. It's only about 20 seconds.
Presidente Trump, I didn't sign up for this, Linda. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't. I just got told that you deported the people that cut my grass, man. It was Jose, Jose B, Jose D, Jose C. And the one that came and told me was Juan. Sometimes he goes by 2, sometimes he goes by 3. It depends on how many Juans are in the room, you know what I mean? But I'm already sweating, Presidente Trump, and I'm not even started yet. I'm not even started, I'm already sweating. But I ain't signed up for this shit, man. Oh, and for the record, when the Democrat Party says that they're against slavery and slave wages, for them to want to keep illegal immigrants here, what do you think they're supporting?
Bingo.
Have a good day.
Nice.
I love it, man. I just found this guy like
Bingo.
3 weeks ago, and I love this
Guy's good. This guy's
Bingo.
good. This guy is so good, man.
Presidente Trump. Oh, by the way, Linda, for those who don't know. In
Yeah,
Spanish,
what is it? I didn't
That
know.
means pretty.
Yeah, linda.
Oh.
In Mexican.
It's linda, not Linda.
Okay.
Linda is pretty.
I didn't know that part. And I want to replay this before we've got great Marco Rubio in the next segment. This
And he
guy,
is great.
this guy. Oh,
He is. I agree.
I'm telling you, if
agree.
it's not our vice president, and you know,
I
it's going.
didn't like Marco when he ran against Trump.
Were
I
you
did-
here? Were you here a few weeks ago when I was talking about Marco Rubio and he should be our next president?
Yes.
He,
Nah, it should be
Yes.
vice president.
Okay.
Is that what I said? I thought.
No,
I
that's
thought
what I'm
what I
saying.
said was that Marco Rubio should be our
That
next
is what you
president.
said.
I believe that's what I said.
I'm saying that's
But
what
he
you
won't
said.
be because our vice president will be the next president.
Right.
God willing.
And he will be the vice president.
I was having such a good time, like 20.
This was such a great show.
Vance
Yeah.
Rubio.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really a great show.
You don't like it, Buttigieg?
I know I didn't have too much of that bourbon, but boy, that man behind
It's
the
not even
horse.
about the bourbon. I'm done with this crap.
So-
I'm done. I'm gonna speak my
There,
mind.
there you go.
Well, you better bleep that out. For
yeah,
the
yeah.
terrestrial.
You see me writing?
Yeah, okay. And the writing means nothing to the listener as well, but
Means
and
we
the
have to
viewer.
bleep.
Okay, now we have to explain it. Hey, for those of you who have sat through the, I know you have a choice, and if you have stuck through the last 20 minutes or so, God bless you. You're a better man than I. You really are. When we come
That's
back,
not saying
Our producer gets off the rails sometimes, and today is
well,
sometimes.
because it's booze is almost like truth serum, and so the truth about how he feels about me truly comes out when
Yes.
he's really blasted.
Yeah,
and
you're incredibly correct.
yeah, I know that's why I said it. So let me play this real quickly, and it was our friend from Warrant, Rick Stiers, who brought this
Yeah.
up last week on the show.
Steyer, plural. I mean,
Steyer.
singular.
This guy is totally on and knows everything that's going on in our world, including this Dr. Squatch and this gal. What's her name again? Who's selling her bathwater? Anyway, I love that she's doing this, and this is we only played
Sydney
this.
Sweeney.
Yeah, love that she's selling her bathwater.
I already ordered it.
This is why not,
Dude, I already
are
have
you not?
some.
Are you not a full-blooded heterosexual
I'm using
male?
it tonight.
Yeah.
It's in my
I
cocktail.
burn it at the same time I burn Gwyneth
All right,
Paltrow.
here's the ad for Dr. Squatch.
Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Wash? Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys, it's for men. This is Dr. Squatch Natural Body Wash. With long-lasting natural aromas like wood barrel bourbon, pine tar, coconut castaway, and fresh falls.
I don't remember it ending that way, but
No.
okay.
Was she taking it with a rubber duck?
I guess she's in the bathtub with a duck. Yeah. And before we get to some new stuff next segment, okay, I guess we're going to break, my friends. I've got some very cool Marco Rubio stuff. The man who I did lay claim a few weeks ago it should be our next president. He's that smart. He's that diplomatic. And if I'm not correct here, Ralph O'Neill, he's holding down 2 gigs.
Yes.
I mean, 2 gigs, man. just one would be enough for one person, but not Marco Rubio. When we return on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on Rumble, and the finest stations in the nation, thank you for putting up with loudmouth, drunky, tattooed Dave for the last 24 minutes. We'll be this after back.
You're welcome, Buttigieg.
I lie awake, I've gone to ground. I'm watching porn in my hotel dressing gown. And now I dream of you, but I still believe there's only enough for one in a slowly hotel suite. The journey's long, and I feel so bad. I'm thinking back to the last day we had. Old moon fades into the night. Soon I know I'll be back with you. I'm nearly with you. I'm nearly with you. When I'm weak, I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's destiny. On a clear day, I'll fly home to you. I'm bending time, I'm getting back to you. Old fades into the night. Soon I know I'll be back with you. I'm nearly with you. I'm nearly with you. When I'm weak, I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's destiny. I draw strength from you. And when you're lost, I know how to change your mood. And when I'm down, you breathe life over me. Even though we're miles apart, we are each other's destiny.
Arbitron and search-rated #1.
This is Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, the man who is always right. A couple guys in the music biz, Lalo Schifrin, what a genius, man who wrote every great TV theme and movie themes, and God bless him, 93 years old. And Bobby Sherman, good man.
Bobby.
Good conservative man, a man who loved the United States of America, was a neighbor of mine in the hills of Encino for many, many years. Used to ride around in that red car with all those blaring lights and so on.
Why wasn't he on the show?
He was. I don't know why I never put that together. I know, weird. And I thought about it every week, and then I never put it together.
We have Pat Sajak's our neighbor also.
Yeah, I'm Pat Sajak. Well, that guy, in person, he was a little disgruntled. I think he was pissed off that his late night TV show didn't last.
So he was mad about the $10 million a year he was making.
Sometimes Ralph Odierna, it's not about the money, it's about how much.
That's right.
No, what I meant to say is it's not about the money, it's about at this point in your career, you want to do something that you've always dreamed of doing. Rick Dees, same thing. He wanted to be that late night talk show. He wanted to be the next Johnny Carson. Pat Sajak, same deal. Wanted to be the next Johnny Carson.
Cash the damn check.
I know. You mean stop your bitching?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop your bitching. But, easy for us to say because we're not making $10 million a year, only $5.
Right.
Because it's about how much.
How about that Vanna White?
How about, boy, what a gig.
I mean, come on.
What
touching squares on TV for, what 40
She
years?
used to have to physically spin them.
In the beginning, she used to have to spin them, and then the later shows, all she do is just touch.
Yeah, too much work.
Come on.
Did she not? And by the way, I never heard her bitching about it.
No,
Yeah,
she
of
did
course
say
not.
she
What?
did say she had to do 3 costume changes a day.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
What do you think she's making a year?
Oh, a lot, millions.
Mother effer.
Yeah. And by the way, I love the gal. She's a Texas gal.
Great.
By the way, she admitted they only worked 37 days a year.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
God, that's better
Yeah,
than
they do like 3 shows a day.
So she's vacationing all the time.
That's better than a teacher schedule with a little more money.
Oh, man. Don't get me started.
Oh, that's
Why don't you get you started?
That is good stuff.
I happen to know teachers, and they are doing...
My daughter's a teacher. Shut up.
Your daughter's not a teacher in California.
Hey, let's move on.
No. Oh, well, let's get
No. Let's
get on with this.
Yeah, let's take the show down a complete rat hole that the audience cannot enjoy.
Doesn't give a F about
Okay,
it.
Dave, I tried this again. You take over. Go.
Okay, so California, these teachers are well taken care of. Talk about Seattle, Marty. Marty, this is not California. The teachers are not like they are here. These teachers make a paycheck every month for 12 months and work for 9. Next.
So I guess teaching is different in
Yeah, I guess it is.
state of
Yeah,
Washington.
yeah, okay.
It is. Of course it
All
is.
right. It's the same.
All right,
It's,
anyway,
it's the
let's
same
go.
everywhere.
Go ahead,
And
moving on.
most of them are overpaid. Unless you're one of those good teachers, one of those diamond in the rough that really care about the kids. God bless you. And I mean that from my heart. I think that may be a rarity.
I see a lot of female teachers that care about their male students. I read about it in the Post every week. They're sleeping with them.
Speaking of
right.
douchebags, I saw this guy about 8-9 years ago at an award show. Patton Oswalt was on stage, and the minute he hit the stage, I'm sitting there with my lovely spousal equivalent, Lori Downey Jr. I whispered to her, "I hate this guy."
Everybody does.
I hate this guy. Not on the left. Oh, the lefties love him. Lefties love this Patton Oswalt.
He's a midget little douchebag.
Yeah.
He's a Cousin Oliver.
With only this much talent. For those of you watching, it's my thumb and forefinger. Patton Oswalt is ranting at ICE stormtroopers, biggest douchebags on the planet. So our ICE folks putting in harm's way, attempting to do the right thing to excavate those terrible people who have come in illegally, millions over the last 4 years with that great president. Who was that guy before Trump? Well, that dude, actor, comedian. Oh, I just love those. Yeah, right? Did you throw up a little in your mouth?
When I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Patton Oswalt ranted at Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, dismissing their efforts to clear the country of illegal migrants as demeaning and making them collectively the biggest douchebags on the planet. But in a weird way, I feel bad for the ICE agents because it's so clear this was their fantasy, he said on what show? Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Of course.
Oswald mocked the agents for acting like the Sylvester Stallone character Judge Dredd, but the thing is, he joked, they're shaped like me. They look like Pillsbury stormtroopers. Failed grifter, sexual predator at the highest office in the land. Was that part of that? I don't know. Anyway, Patton Oswalt, if you get a chance to pay good money to see that man, please don't. In fact, if you could raid that box office and then burn the money. Now, I'm not saying do anything harmful. I'm fantasizing.
What was the TV series?
It's like Madonna. It's like Madonna fantasizing.
He was on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Everybody Loves Raymond. So that was his big break.
Yeah, that was it. That was the biggie. Yeah. Hollywood celebrities back Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani for New York City mayor. Defunding the police, that's one of his things. As Gotham City crime spiked and the NYPD's roster dwindled, he wants to institute government-run grocery stores, provide free buses, free childcare, and freeze rent hikes. He's refused to recognize Israel as a Jewish state and declined to condemn the Holocaust. Isn't you?
That's communism.
The greatest number of Jews in the United States of America live in New York.
I think in the world.
Why are you not out there voting against this guy? I don't understand this.
Well, let me explain that to you, Matt.
Yes?
They didn't vote in the primary. That was a primary. It was not the general election.
I understand.
They did not come out and vote at all because I don't know why, but most Jews are registered as Democrats.
Yeah.
And they just didn't come out and vote.
Yeah.
They stayed home, which to me...
Because they look of themselves as oppressed, and they were sort of oppressed, which is why they all got together. And Marlon Brando, I know you got a lot of ass for this, but they do run Hollywood.
Right, but
yes,
it's not just that, though. It's
hold
not
on,
just
Dave,
that.
hold on. My point is, they didn't come out in the primary.
Right.
I think they're going to vote the other way in the general election.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
I hope so.
I hope you're
because
right.
they did not vote in the primary because they're like, we're not voting for this anti-Semite.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this.
Oh, right. I get you.
This Zoran he doesn't recognize Israel as a Jewish state.
No.
Isn't that enough to get your Jewish asses out of that house and
It's unbelievable.
vote
It's
against this son of a bitch? And Charlemagne the T-H-A God says Democrats sound like hypocrites for demanding congressional approval for Iran strikes. He's a left-winger. However, much like Bill Maher, he's making more and more sense because he seems to have that pragmatic side that does come out occasionally.
Change your name.
He says it makes him sound like hypocrites for demanding President Donald Trump seek congressional approval for bombing Iranian nuclear facilities, noting that past presidents have taken similar action and it never appeared to be a thing politicians had a total meltdown over. The God! Nicely done, the God.
That's right.
Yes, it's nice to hear some common sense out of you lefties.
Well, Matt,
on occasion, it's nice.
Midnight Hammer came down, and no casualties. They went in.
Well, no U.S. casualties.
Yeah,
okay,
no U.S. casualties.
They bombed the hell out of these, and now the Dems and all these people are going. Well, they didn't really mess it up that bad. BS, and BS. Yes, they
Are you
did.
channeling Tattoo Dave? What are you doing, Mark? Come on.
What are you
come
talking
on,
about?
Come on.
They hammered.
Marco Rubio.
Why are you bringing me into this?
Marco Rubio goes off on the margarita swilling, wife-beaten supporter, MS-13 loving Dem. We all know this guy. And Marco is sitting there, and he's having to answer questions from this guy who is enjoying the margarita.
Van Halen?
Yeah, Van Halen. Yes.
Great guitar
Great
player.
rock
It's
band.
Holland. It's Holland.
Great rock band. Is that right?
Comedy denier.
Thank you, Tattoo Dave. This is Marco Rubio. Dig this.
Hey, President Trump, I didn't sign up for this.
That's not it.
Linda.
That doesn't sound like
I
Marco
didn't sign
Rubio.
up for this. I didn't. I just got told that you deported the people that cut my grass, man.
What are you doing?
Like I said,
stop it.
any monkey can push a button.
Obviously not. Well, a button, but not the right one.
That's a big monkey.
And I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
May I respond?
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job based on what I know.
Well, that's
about
just
your
a
record and
flippant
what you
statement,
stand
Mr.
for.
Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may. I didn't ask.
Senator, please let the Secretary have
I'd be
the floor.
happy to, but then I can respond to his.
Your time's up, Senator, and willfully used, I might add. Your remarks do not represent the view of this committee.
Well, Mr.
Secretary, please.
Well, I can't respond to everything he said because much of these are untrue, but I'll go through a few. First of all, I'm actually very proud of the work we've done with USAID. For example, I don't regret cutting $10 million for male circumcisions in Mozambique. I don't know how that makes us stronger and more prosperous as a nation. I don't regret psychosocial support services.
I raised
USAID.
Sudan, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr.
Senator, Senator, I'd ask you to suspend. You had 7 straight minutes.
I chose to use my time that way, Mr. Chairman. That's my right to
Please
use my
suspend
time that way.
Secretary Rubio.
Well, I can go on. I mean, there's other things here. We spent $227,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel from USAID. We spent $14 million for social cohesion in Mali, whatever the hell that means. So I can go on and on. I got the list here, and there's more. I didn't even bring the whole list. In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. Absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with. And that guy is a human trafficker, and that guy is a gangbanger, and the evidence is going to be clear. In the days to come, you're going to see who you went to defend.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Rubio has the floor.
Mr. Chairman, he can't make unsubstantiated comments like that.
Secretary Rubio has the floor. You've had
Secretary
your time.
Rubio should take that testimony to the federal court in the United States.
You stupid ass.
Kick him out.
Here's another point, okay? There is a division in our government between the federal branch and the judicial branch. No judge in the judicial branch cannot tell me or the president how to conduct foreign policy. No judge can tell me how I have to outreach to a foreign partner or what I need to say to them. And if I do reach to that foreign partner and talk to them, I have under no obligation to share that with the judiciary branch. Just like a judge cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister of Russia, they cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister or the president of El Salvador. And if I did negotiate with them, which we have responded to them, and we've told them, we've had communications with the president of El Salvador, I am under no obligation, under our division of powers in this country, and to share with the judicial branch how I conducted diplomacy of the United States. It would actually be counterproductive. If I started sharing with courts, or frankly, with the media, my conversations with foreign leaders and all of their details, no foreign leader would talk to me again, and we would break trust with them.
Correct.
So I have complied with every court order. What I won't comply with is an order to disclose what I'm saying and what we're talking about with a foreign leader, because then they won't talk to me. Diplomacy doesn't work that way. About the student visas, let me say this. I don't deport anybody, and I don't snatch anybody.
I love the way Marco Rubio, not unlike Donald Trump, not unlike the folks around Donald Trump, will double down on things not popular in the left woke idiot sticks' minds. They doubled down on this instead of backing away and trying to be diplomatic. I think this is smart politics. I think this is smart business. Listen to Marco Rubio.
The State Department does not have officers in the street snatching everybody. What I do is revoke visas, and it's very simple. A visa is not a right. It is a privilege. People apply for student visas to come into the United States and study. And if you tell me that you're coming to the United States to lead campus crusades, to take over libraries and try to burn down buildings and acts of violence, we're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what Ms. Ostork did?
We're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what she did? Come on, Mr. Secretary.
And every single one of these cases, the factors are different. The bottom line is, if you're coming here to stir up trouble on our campuses, we will deny you a visa. And if you have a visa and we find you, we'll revoke it. And we're going to do more. There are more coming. We're going to continue to revoke the visas of people who are here as guests and are disrupting our higher education facilities. People are paying money. These kids pay money to go to school, and they have to walk through a bunch of lunatics who are here on student visas.
Disrupting the foreign policy of the United States.
I want to do more. I hope we find more of these people.
Pathetic, Mr.
In fact, the other day, some guys led a riot. I forgot what university it was, and I asked, please, can you find the arrest records of all the people that were arrested at that riot at that campus? Because if any of them have a visa, we're going to revoke it.
I feel so much safer when you lock up people like Ms. Ostork, Mr. Secretary.
We've had enough time on the subject. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good man, Marco Rubio.
Yeah, he is
awesome.
Who's the a-hole that
do you
keeps
not
on interrupting?
Van Halen.
That's Van Halen.
Van Halen
from the rock band Van Halen.
I'm not listening to 5150 ever again.
You know what? I like
Eddie,
Alex. I love Hot for Teacher, but get out of the room, bro.
Yeah, get out.
It's
Okay, I have just enough time to play this again. This is Ronald Reagan from the 80s, as contemporary as today's headlines. He could have said this yesterday, and it holds complete truth. Ronald Reagan, the man.
Ever notice how every time a Republican takes office, the Democrats start acting like it's the end of the world? I mean, the minute we cut taxes or trim the budget, they start screaming that the sky is falling. Now, don't get me wrong. I admire their consistency. If the stock market surges, they say it's just helping the rich. And if it crashes, they say, yep, that's what happens under Republican leadership. And don't even get me started on foreign policy. A Republican president could be shaking hands with world leaders and signing peace deals, and they'd say, it must be appeasement. But the minute there's tension overseas, they rush to the nearest camera like it's Black Friday saying, see, we told you the world would catch fire if he was in charge. Now, I've always said, it's fine to disagree on policy.
Yep.
That's democracy. But if your best shot at winning is hoping the American people lose, well, maybe you're in the wrong country.
Bye.
Oh, beautiful. Ronald Reagan. God bless that man. Democrat senators team with Hamilton producer to host LGBTQIAEIEIO Pride Trump protest concert at Kennedy Center when we return in mere seconds on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Thank you for being there.
Now we return to Outlaw Radio's Demons of Decadence.
Welcome back, my friends, my friendlies. Welcome back. Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube, on X, on Rumble, the finest stations in the nation. Thank you for being there, my friendlies. I was wondering during break a few minutes ago when Tattoo Dave was texting something and he said, I'd rather produce your show. Who was that to?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
No.
No, we heard it out loud.
Yeah, who was that to?
I was texting
because I got to tell you. Because I got to tell you, whoever that is, if they were listening to the last hour, you ain't getting that gig. You ain't getting that gig, my friend.
Are you applying for jobs on air?
Yes.
Wow. Now
Yeah.
Ralph is off his phone and teaming up on me with
I was
that?
on my phone during break.
You've been on your phone for the last half hour.
On break.
Wait a minute. My phone has been in the cradle and not touched.
Really? You played something from your phone on air.
That was an hour ago, Ralph.
No, it wasn't an hour ago. It was the last segment.
Okay, you know what?
All right, let's
It's
move
nice
on.
to see you guys. Goodbye.
Okay.
All right, better show.
Everybody's off the air.
Democrat.
What mic is that? What mic is that? Is that you? Check, 1, 2.
No, we're all off.
Check, 1, 2.
We're
check.
on.
Check.
We're on.
What the hell, man? Seriously, Betty Ford. Fucking Betty Ford. Well, I said the F word. Sorry, but
I would not give him a check this week.
Betty Ford. Guess what? HR.
Yeah, no, he doesn't get a check this week.
No, I saw it. I saw it earlier. He came in with an attitude, Tattoo Dave. He did, and it happens, but it shouldn't happen as he's talking off mic now. It's like, Jesus, God, get your shit together.
Up yours.
Up yours. Is
But,
it like a
but by the way, he loves me. He went on record. See, I don't lie about things.
Hey, up your nose.
Are you calling me a liar? Are you calling me a liar when I tell you that I love you?
Turn your microphone down. You're distorting.
No, I'm just screaming into it. That's the problem.
Well, no.
No, when
that's
he
not
said
the
up-
problem.
Hold on.
That's not
I
the
just wanna
problem.
know, you're telling
That's
me I'm a liar because I tell you that I love you?
No, I'm not. So,
Well,
can we?
you are.
Can we close the show out?
What? Yeah.
Marty, you can leave anytime you want because you do all the time anyway. So just go.
All the time. When's the last time I did that?
Goodbye, Marty.
Anyway, I was
He's
gonna
turn your mic
I was gonna get into this. I was gonna get into this LGBTQ pride Trump protest at Kennedy Center, but I think there's enough pride coming from Tattoo Dave.
It's not about pride, Matt. This has nothing to do with pride.
It's about ego.
Yeah, it is about ego. It is about ego. You're right. It's 100% about ego.
Well, it's also
The Tattoo Dave Show. And the thing is, Ralph Odierna, and please, if you disagree with me about this statement, you tell me.
Turn my mic up,
But
dick.
as the host of this
I will
show
not.
for a gazillion years, little old Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, I never let my ego get in the way of the show. Right or wrong? Now,
Absolutely.
don't kiss my ass.
No.
I will tell you.
Like, shut up, Dave.
I would let it get in the way before the show.
I was off the show for years.
What did I do before the show? You were here, Ralph.
Right.
never
I was
mind.
off the show for years.
Yeah.
And then I came back.
Right.
I had to deal with a lot of nonsense
Yes, you did.
on the microphone.
Yes, you did.
I sat
hand
here,
me that
I
bottle.
took it, I responded.
Yes.
I never got petulant.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, you're handing the bottle to him again?
At this point,
Okay.
how could it get worse?
Yeah. Well, that's true.
I mean, we have a couple.
Well,
good-
This might be the first time Marty ever made a good point.
Yeah.
well, because
But
of you.
he came in with an attitude today. I saw it, and it's like
you saw it. Let me ask you a question,
It's
Matt.
most
How did
like
you
I'm
see it?
talking, a-hole. I'm
How
talking.
did you see it,
I'm
F-tard?
talking.
How did you
Let me
see it,
explain.
F-tard?
Let me explain the conversation. That's where I say something, then you say something, but not at the same time.
Guess what? How did you see it, F-tard?
Okay. He turned my mic down, by the way.
That's right, I did.
It's right.
you meant I will.
Hold on. That's right.
Guess who's really in charge here?
Hey, Matt, I will say.
See, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
bingo, Ralph.
Yep.
Ego.
Yep.
And nothing more.
Matt, I
than
will say one
Like I
thing.
said,
Isn't
I,
that-
I had to deal with a whole lot of nonsense when I came back.
Isn't that a
Right.
cross to bear when your
Yes.
ego gets in the way of performance? Oh my God, that is.
I will say when Lori was here.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys got in fights.
Yeah,
you
we
guys
did.
got in things.
We did.
But she never got that petulant. She never walked out. She never did that kind of
No,
stuff.
she never.
Petulant seems
She
to be
never
the
got.
word of the
She
day.
never got petulant.
Except for
she was never.
Buttigieg.
She was never petulant.
And I remember like people jumping over tables,
Oh, yeah.
microphones
Oh, yeah.
falling.
Fights.
Yes.
Physical fights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that never happened here.
Big time.
It didn't?
But I just want to ask you, how did you see it before the day began, Matt?
You can ask me any question you
I'm
want.
asking you.
Yeah, I understand.
No answer. Okay.
Thanks to Tattoo Dave, sort of, this
up
week.
yours.
Thanks to my brother
Marty.
Ralph Odierna.
Up yours.
My,
and by the way, up your nose and a rubber hose.
my buddy, my buddy.
Hey, Ralph, you're going to remember this day.
Oh, God.
I remember every day.
Hey, Ralph, you're gonna remember this today.
I wasn't slurring. I wasn't slurring at all.
You're gonna remember this. Ralph. my buddy out there is slaving over hot coals.
All I'm gonna hear tonight is pot.
Yeah. My buddy Billy Dilly. Mom and Dad, I love you. Thank you for having me. My daughter Alexandra, a million times around the world. Milt Larson, God bless you, man. Wish you were still alive. Who taught me many years ago the saying, bumblebees can't fly. That's right. Look it up, or not. I'm Magic Matt, and we'll be this after back. Notice him turn more petulance more often from Tattoo Dave, former producer of Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
All right. Finally, I got fired.
Call